fucked up. Yeah, I'll go through your phone. You fucked up. And your phone full of hoes. You fucked up. Try test tape, no. You fucked up. Can't put on no show. You fucked up. Yeah, I'll go through your phone. You fucked up. And your phone full of hoes. You fucked up. Try test tape, no. You fucked up.
Run the track.
Big up, everybody. For Ngolo Kante, for the GOAT. Big up. Big up. Hit the like button, subscribe. I didn't expect to go live, but you know what? Weren't doing anything tonight. Came home a bit early from the pub. Thought, fuck it. Let's go live. Let's talk about this whole Ngolo Kante situation. Losing another midfielder did feel like this was going to happen, especially the news that we heard from the stream earlier today. Check that out if you guys haven't seen it already. It's kind of the right time if we want to take emotion out of it. Like, it does hurt to see him go. I would have liked to keep him for a bit of experience, but if we're talking about N'Golo Kante's peak, sadly, now might have been the best time to at least see him go on some sort of a high, I guess, for a team that finished 12th. But yeah, N'Golo Kante's going. He's another player that has left, but he's at the very least getting a very good pay packet out of it. And I can't lie, he deserves it. Big up for Ngolo. I wish he stayed for his ability. I wish he stayed for his depth and his experience. But 100 million is it's ridiculous, man. I don't blame him for taking the bag. Go get it. That will set you and your family and probably your family's family up for life. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Let me know all you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the earlier stream as well if you haven't done so already. I'll go through any of the other transfer news from the last few hours, but there's not really been much more updates. There was a little piece about Pulisic being involved in conversations with AC Milan, but I feel like everything's on hold since the Maldini sacking, so I wouldn't really expect too much from that transfer situation right now. But big up to everybody that's in here. This was a very last-minute decision. I was going to save it for tomorrow, but I don't know when I'm doing the Back Again pod with troops, so I thought, fuck it, might as well go live now. see what you man are saying. Big up to everybody that's in here, though. We did have a super chat already. Big up Bob Smoke saying Kante should have gotten a banner, bro. At the very least, now he needs one of those permanent banners by Matthew Harding or by the Shed, because the fact that he didn't get given a banner, especially after 2021, is, I can't lie, it's a disgrace. And the explanation from We Are the Shed, big up to We Are the Shed, because at least they do a good job with the flags and everything, but they took an L on the fucking Kante Mason Mount debate. The explanation of it was poor, and you could debatably say there's been opportunities to bring a banner up before the end of the season, but you can make a smaller banner, one of the permanent ones that you put on the top of Matthew Harding upper or on top of the Shed. And I think that would be a good way to acknowledge what he's done for Chelsea. But yeah, he should have had one while he was at the club. He never even really got a proper goodbye because everything was so up in the air, and then he got injured again after coming back from fitness. It's a shame. It's such a shame it ended like this for him. It really is. Really is. But we're not going to remember the bad times with Ngolo. We're going to remember him being an absolute GOAT, playing basically every single game from 2017 to 2019. The PFA Player of the Year award-winning season in 17-18, even when we finished 5th. The Kante season, the run to the Champions League final that was fucking goated. There's enough memories. There's enough memories to last a lifetime. Big up everybody that's in here, though. Big up Sean. Big up Shaq, saying happy for Kante. Big up to Adam. Big up to Christian. Luke saying this is more depression. Is what it is. The clear out don't care about people's feelings. And realistically, we couldn't be offering Kante the money that he wanted to stay. So, as much as it pains me to say, go get your money. Go get your money. And fair play to you, man. Fair play. Are you going to the game for Ukraine in August? I don't think I got a ticket, but I think Fata has a spare for me. Since this is a thank you Kante stream, what was your best moment? You guys, let me know in the comment section as well. Let's make this a bit interactive. Europa League final for me. Kante went into the game half injured in a knee brace and put their midfield in a spliff and sent Torreira off crying. And this is another case of Arsenal fans trying to compare a midfielder to Kante. First it was Coquelin, and then Hazard had to spin him up. And then that argument died. And then it was Torreira v Kante. Torreira got sent off in tears in the second half. Never recovered. We never heard the name of Lucas Torreira again. That's N'Golo Kante for you. Fucking goat. Jadon Sancho says he's crying right now. Big up to Jadon Sancho. You better bring in at least 3 midfielders now. Apparently they were talking about bringing 2 or 3. But Kovacic is leaving. Mount's leaving. Kante's going to leave. Ruben's likely to leave. Jorginho's already left. There's no experience. So we need an experienced midfielder. We need a destroyer. And we probably need another box-to-box. But I feel like Chelsea will be aware of all this stuff. It's still too early in the window to get really anxious about anything. But we do need to be quick in bringing at least 1 midfielder soon. I will say that. We'll say that. Who do we have left in our squad? Brother, it's fucking long. We went from having a bloated squad to just everybody fucking off. Everybody's gone. Kante's leaving. Mount's leaving. Havertz is leaving. There's clubs in for Gallagher. Pulisic's leaving. Ziyech is leaving. Oba's leaving. We don't even know what's happening with Levi Colwill. It's crazy, man. It's all mad. I said Kante going to an upgraded club. He already upgraded, brother. He already upgraded. Big up Chester. But Mount got a banner. Bruv. We don't need to. I understand. That Mount banner was stupidness. Even Kante, not Kante, even James, it was way too early. I know people have the argument for Silva, but Silva's at least in his twilight. Mount and James, they were meant to have plenty more chapters. At least James. Johnny recent tweet. Someone check on him. Oh no, what's he saying now? What's Johnny saying now? He's actually lost his head. What the fuck? 1 sec. Buy and sell merchants FC, kindergarten FC, data FC, multi-club FC, Disney FC, monetized content FC, prison contracts FC, anti-Roman FC, Ted Lasso Bowley FC, Siri merchant. This brother ain't serious, man. This guy is not serious. What the fuck? What the fuck? Caicedo personal terms agreed with Arsenal. Who said that? Who's reported that? Let me have a look. Twitter, do you want to refresh? That would be nice. I don't see anything saying that. Yeah, nothing saying that. Not that deep. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that just yet. There's been no articles saying about Caicedo signing anything with Arsenal, so I wouldn't worry too much. What else is everybody? Wish we could have given him a send-off. Hopefully Kante does like what Madueke and Gakpo did and just comes back for a goodbye. Like, just, if I was Chelsea, I'd just do like... Do you remember in 16-17 when I think Lampard came back for a goodbye against Swansea? I don't know if any of you guys remember that, but we did that for him because we never got a proper chance to say goodbye to him. I want us to do something like that for Kante. Let's say half-time in the first game of the season or something. Have Ngolo Kante just get given a lap of honour around the bridge. We did the same thing to Lampard. I'd do the same thing for him. I think that would be the best move. Record Portugal. What? Nah. There's nothing there. I thought there was some news. Goal versus Man United. Which one? There was a couple. Both were goated, to be fair. I feel like the cup one will get spoken about a lot more if we actually won it, but we shat the bed in that final. I know Anthony Taylor did fuck us with the handball / offside, but realistically, if you remember the game, we played like a sack of shit. Arsenal should have won that game like 6-1. We got lucky. Cahill cleared one off the line. I think Arsenal hit the post 3 or 4 times. But they were battering us. They were fucking battering us. Nutmeg goal v Spurs. That's another one. Do you think the Saudi League is creating their own Super League? No, I think they're creating a retirement league. Anyone in the early 30s or maybe late 20s, if you get washed that early, probably goes to the Saudi League. Like, it'd be great marketing for them. It would improve the quality of their league, improve the amount of people watching that league as well. Apparently, the Saudi government's investing $2 billion into it or something like that. So I'd keep an eye out on it. If Hazard finds a club, I'm locking into Saudi League games. I'm sorry, it is what it is. I might even do watch-alongs if they televise it on the right channel. Because they're looking for everybody like 33 plus from the looks of it. Even the likes of Zaha apparently could be going to Al Nassr. It's crazy. Thoughts on James Maddison? Bring him in. Sell Mount, sell Havertz. I don't mind you bringing in James Maddison. Here for it. Him winning best player of the Premier League in his first season in Chelsea is still mad. Very underrated season. Fucking ridiculous, bro. Big up to Ngolo. He's going to leave as a GOAT. It's one of the rare times where I've seen the whole fan base unified over something. And it's just N'Golo Kante prop. Might send the link out. See who's about. Let me just go through the rest of his comments. Riga Park says, see above. See above what? Can't see anything. Big up Bobby. Says sad to see Kante go, but he deserves to go get that bag. Exactly, bruv. Exactly. 20 billion. Not even 2. Fucking hell. Oh dear. You know what? They might be trying to compete with the top 5 in that case. Shit. 20 billion. Do you know how much fucking money that is? That is insanity. That is fucking insane. From a guy who didn't play first division until 24. Oh dear, that's crazy, man. Big up Ngolo. His whole career is a movie. It's a fucking movie. Anti says thoughts on Lavia. Bring him in, man. Bring him in immediately. I mean, we're gonna need midfielders. We're gonna need a lot of fucking midfielders. Let me send the link out. I'll see who's around. I guess we could talk about Kante leaving for a little bit, but this is going to be a short stream anyway. I feel like by the time we go live next, there's going to be a here we go. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, links going out. See who's around. We'll probably go live for another 20 minutes or something. I want to guarantee I don't miss your comments. As always, super chat. You already know what to do. Cool. Yes, everybody. Yes, guys. What are you lot saying? What are you lot saying?
Yeah, man. Well, it is what it's.
The clear out continues.
Hey, apparently, I got a text literally before Fabrizio put that tweet. Anyway, said Kante is already done deal to Ittihad.
Yeah, you sent it to me about the same time the Fabrizio quote came out. Source is actually pretty decent. Fair play. Fair play. Big up to Ngolo, though. Go collect your bag. Go collect your bag. It frees up the wage bill a little bit. I guess that's a positive. But we do need to get some experience. Get some experience. Get another 2 midfielders in. And fuck it. Lavia Enzo Ugarte, says Andy. Hopefully, well,
Ugarte's already gone, bro.
Yeah, Ugarte's gone. What the fuck,
man?
Fuck you, been smoking.
Yes, Scott. What are you saying, man?
No, not much. I don't know how to feel about. No, I think I do know how to feel about this. Like, it's an odd one because on the one hand, we're losing yet another piece of experience in the squad, which we have so little. But on the other hand, it's a guy who it has just how do I put this? Like, I'm not trying to sound disrespectful. I just don't know how the way to put this is. The best way I can put this is his place in the squad hasn't been, apart from a few performances when he came back from injury, it hasn't really been where it needs to be, for lack of a better way of phrasing it. But he's a legend of this club. There's no doubt about that. I think there can be no doubt. But yeah, it's a weird one, and I'm glad he's at least like getting the money that he deserves. In terms of like get your bag, like that's fair. But yeah, it's kind of I'm also fine with it at the same time because we can't rely on him anymore. So I kind of understand it.
That's the best way possible it can happen for Kante. I wouldn't feel good seeing Kante at a rival club.
Yeah, when I was hearing how much he loved to stay at London, I was thinking, God forbid, I do not want to see this guy in an Arsenal shirt. Jorginho's enough. I've suffered enough. I can't be asked to see him in an Arsenal too.
You think he could have helped them win the league? Like he would have been good enough for like one season?
Oh, stop it! No.
Availability
hypothetically.
depends on availability. Because I feel like Arteta runs him into the fucking ground. He's injured in 5 games.
They are winning the league.
Respectfully.
The contract was it the contract we was offering Kante was like very
It was basically
appearance dependent, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
It wasn't. Let's say this.
No. Just think of this. Yeah, think of
It
this.
was probably 90 million short.
Hold on.
It was probably about 90 million short per year.
Well, Kante is like what, 31, 32?
32.
So he's like 2 years before retirement. So think of it like this: since he's a Muslim as well, right? Like, don't you think it's coincidence? Like, he went to a club that literally 40 minutes away from the pilgrimage, the Hajj.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. This is the best for Kante.
Yeah.
Man, fuck all that. $100 million. Fuck what y'all talking about?
He's also
the money.
All he got to do is he could lay that rug anywhere and face the fucking right direction. You could do that from anywhere. $100 million.
Even more than that. He's gonna get even more money. They're gonna give him sponsorships.
That's included. All that's included.
Yeah,
all that's included.
Like image rights and everything.
Is it the same club?
Yeah, 100 million. It's 2 seasons, so it's basically 200 million, and this is after taxes, everything. 200 million fucking dollars.
Also, Bobby,
he deserves it.
To answer your question, yes, it's the same club that Benzema's go to. Also, the same club that
Benzema's getting 643 million over 3 seasons.
Did you see how they do it out there?
This is wild, bro. This is fucking wild.
It's the same. It's the same club that's managed by Nuno, and it's the same club that just won the league title.
Yeah, that shit is almost $250 million, man.
Did you know how they do it though? It's not actually the club that picks the transfer.
No, it's
they pick them and then send them where they want to go.
The league say they're going to build a rivalry first, and then they're going to spread the players out.
Yeah, they've given 4 clubs like 20 bill. They've given it's Al Hilal, Al Nasser, Al Ittihad, and Al something or other. I forgot the 4th one. They've given them like 20 bill.
Madness, isn't it?
Fuck. Because I think
this takes attention off of us for spending money. Nobody's gonna look at us like crazy.
Khalid says Mount is jealous of Kante and Benzema now.
Mount about to go play for fucking one of those clubs.
Makes money.
I was looking at Benzema's contract. Like, I want what he's on.
Nah, but they deserve it. They earned it. They're World Cup winners. Earned it. Well, the only one of them, I guess, Benzema isn't there. But no, he hasn't done shit.
Oh,
That's shit. Right, fam. That's right.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. That is a funny picture. Look at this fucking head.
That shit's funny, bro.
That shit is fucking hilarious.
We got Ramad saying that Ngolo is our best signing in terms of player value.
Yes, sir.
No. For me, it's the guy we spoke about the other day. It's Aspi. We signed him for like
Aspi was like 6 million.
Bro, that's the thing. If you want to talk about value, like we signed Ngolo for like 30 mil, which at the time was a decent signing. We signed Aspi for 6 mil.
6 million.
Out there too. That's good, but there's someone we got for free.
We signed him for 6. Not only did we sign him for 6, Scott, he played like what 600, 500 something games. Like
That
would mean John Terry. Wait, so that means John Terry is the most value we got, right?
I mean, yeah, like if you're going by value, then yeah. But if I'm talking about actual signing, then it was.
Yeah, we signed Ivanovic weren't too much.
Yeah, I don't actually know how much we signed Ivanovic for, but
he stayed in the reserves for about a year.
Yeah, Ivanovic is pretty cheap.
I think he was like 10 million.
Also, too, we have to factor in the transfer values at that time compared to
the
future.
Martin says we need to go all out for Caicedo, no excuses. I kind of expect us to.
Yeah, I could give you an excuse. You want an excuse? How about he can choose another club? Fuck is wrong with people? Like, we can go all out is all that we want, and he can just choose somewhere else.
All out
somewhere else.
You got to be.
Not because I don't look at it at all.
I think he's saying we need to do everything we
we need to do everything we can.
And I think this club has proven that they will. I can't believe people still questioning that.
We have at times, other times we haven't.
When haven't we? Where haven't we?
Can I ask you a question? With the idea of doing everything we can, would you say that means offering a decent amount of money? Because I said it on the stream the other day. Like, we can go all out, I don't want to start going all out by spending 100 mil because I'm sorry, he's not worth 100.
No, hell no. That's not going. To me, going all out is matching whatever anybody else wouldn't have put up and matching any wage, as long as it's not.
I think it's more. Yeah.
I say anything up to 85. 85.
I think that's too much.
You can say you can think it's too much, but when people start bidding, that's what you're gonna have to do. So you have to pick. You're gonna have to decide if that's what you're willing to go to, because somebody's gonna go there.
Yeah, Caicedo. I think what happens is like every month or so, or a couple months, we get a new player put in like our zeitgeist. Like this is the player to pay attention to. When like 6 months ago, we weren't even talking about Caicedo, right?
Yes, we were.
There's probably other players that are Caicedo quality that haven't had their Caicedo moments that we could probably. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing for me. The thing for me about Caicedo is Caicedo's amazing. Caicedo's not an. He's not a unique talent. He's not a unique midfielder. That's the best way to put it. He's an amazing player. He's not unique.
Yep, he doesn't do something like he's not very technical or something that like.
The way I put it is I'd look at it going. We've already got. I'd say Enzo when we bought him was unique at the time for what he was in terms of his profile as a player of that ability. For me, Caicedo is that.
Yeah, and we paid premium to get that unique quality. So
and that's the thing. You paid the premium for those unique players. It's the same reason why I didn't want to buy in Bellingham. Bellingham's a quality player, but he's not a unique player for me. I think
he's overrated.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's the thing. Like, and some people will think he's rated, some people think he is, but like in my opinion, he's not a unique.
He's a good player, a very good player, and he's young. Of course, he's
young.
But...
If PSG did have a vendetta against us, I really think we would have got Ugarte. I just think they.
So the other day, somebody told me that Declan Rice was a leader. He leads West Ham. Well, Bellingham is 19, and he led Dortmund into the Champions League.
And they bottled it.
I'll rate that.
Maybe I can hear my voice.
I think I'll rate that a little bit higher than what that leadership. I think so. We can agree he's a leader.
Have they played already the Conference League final?
That's tomorrow, I think.
No, that's tomorrow.
We'll see tomorrow. If he wins, that's title work. Has Bellingham won anything? Any cups?
Nope.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, let's see.
So you rate. Hold on. You rate. So would you rate more?
I'm not, no, I didn't say no. But if you want to ask me, go ahead. Go ask me. I didn't say that, but go ahead, ask me.
Reaching the quarters of Champions League or winning the Conference League? What's harder?
Artisticity. Just
harder? Oh, definitely. Yeah, Champions League. Yeah,
we stand corrected. Jez knows more than we do about German football.
Fair enough, Jez.
The Pokal. Do we rate the Pokal above the Conference League? I have no idea.
No, the Conference League is above the German Cup. Like, I'm sorry, it's above the German.
In terms of
competitiveness, I haven't
because like Bayern and Dortmund are still in there, and they're more competitive than anything you'll get in the Conference League.
Like Leipzig won the German Cup like back to back years.
Well, think about it.
Leipzig is always in Champions League.
No. But the German Cup
not in Conference League.
No. The German Cup incorporates both the top league and the second league, right?
I'm not even sure how it works.
It has both the first league and the second league, the German Cup, similar to the FA Cup.
I think it's got all three, I'll be honest.
All three? Okay. Yeah, then, okay, Conference League is better because Conference League, even though it has lower level...
Dude, cut it out.
They're better quality than the lower level Bundesliga.
Nah, come on. Man, do you see the teams in the Conference League?
Cut it out. Leipzig,
they're better than the second league teams of the German.
That wasn't the final though, was it?
Exactly. It wasn't no second league team in no final. So I don't know why you mentioned it.
No, but I'm just saying I'm looking at the pool of who could enter the Conference.
So there's second league teams in the league.
That's not what I'm talking about. No, I'm not talking about who wins. I'm talking about the pool of competition. And the pool of competition of the Conference League is more competitive than the pool of competition of German Cup because those top teams can so easily.
What pool does the Conference League have, bro?
What is he talking about? He talking
shit.
European League. Teams try to avoid that.
Okay, no, I'm looking up who's in the Conference League this year. I'm gonna look it up.
Tottenham, West Ham. No, not Tottenham.
Fiorentina, West Ham, Fiorentina, AZ Alkmaar,
Basel.
Like,
That's better than the
fuck outta
second
here.
league of the Bundesliga. Come on now.
He's
They're all dog shit. Let's go.
German league, you could play a Bayern, you could play a Dortmund, Leipzig. You're playing the biggest
Frankfurt.
teams in Germany who won't be seen dead in the Conference League, bro.
Hey, come on, there's Lazio. Come on now. Villarreal, come on now.
Get the
So, I
fuck
mean,
out of
that's,
here.
you know, a sorry ball. I mean, you got me there.
Hey,
Fair enough.
FC Cologne. Come on.
No, I won't ever say no to a little bit. of sorry.
This is some shit teams.
No.
This is Nippon shameless.
Hey, they got young boys. Tel Aviv.
Fucking young boys.
Pause.
Spopo favorite team.
Fucking
Oh,
big
man.
pause. Big up to Brad saying congrats on 75k. Love.
I tried to make an argument. But yeah.
I understand that. That was an attempt. I
Yeah,
appreciate
it is
the
a
attempt. But yeah, big up to Ngolo. Fucking legend.
Yeah, big
I don't think. Yeah, other than that, there was nothing else really reported except Pulisic expected to leave this summer. Big shock and horror.
I saw I think was it Fabrizio or someone reported that AC Milan are looking at him, but right now transfers in general
because they put Loftus-Cheek on hold now, ain't they?
all transfers, everything to do with transfers, contracts at the moment, like
Mate,
on
Rafael
hold.
Leao's just signed a new contract. And that happens.
He got sacked, apparently there was reports that he was going to leave last year, but didn't. But yeah, I think it's to do with transfers. I think it's like he wants them to spend money and they don't want to, or something like that.
You only gave him 50 million again. Last year they gave him 50 million.
They have no money in that league. That league is broke.
Yeah, but like
next year they was going to give him 50 million again, and he told them that's not enough.
But it's basically might fuck their team, I'd say, because Maignan is reportedly not happy. Hernandez is not happy. Leao's not happy.
Leao's fuming. Apparently, he's just literally signed the contract and all.
Aren't they promoting some like internal people, something like that? I don't know if I just because didn't this happen at Juventus too? They they had a scandal, right? But they also look.
No, I just don't think they want to spend money.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have money. But if they don't have money, why is he upset?
No, but I think they do have some money. Like I think they can spend. It's just about like
Serie A is just a fucking mess, man. Like
Italian clubs are weird anyway.
Serie A is great. You know, they have like no new stadiums. All this except Juventus, like all the stadiums are like old as hell. The San Siro
players and all, man. Yeah. They've all played for like every top club in that league as well. Like Chernobyl.
Yeah, it's like the league is like a weird, like all the players pass around. You only have some that stay loyal. It's like I don't know. The Serie A of old is not the same. They need to invest and get new stadiums because that's the biggest issue. One of the issues.
It could be a chance to get Mike Mignon.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of him, did you see the absolute disrespect that I fucking saw online about this guy? Like,
what was said? Was
it on Twitter? You guys see a lot of shit on Twitter.
I think so. There was someone I saw. Was it in the Sarcasm City group chat? Or was it in the something else? But like people are asking, is he even better than Mendy and Kepa? Like, I'll get the fuck out of here.
Oh like, yeah, I thought that was the Instagram.
You're talking about one of the best fucking goalkeepers currently in the world, arguably top 3 goalkeepers in the world right now.
Well, I'm not going that far.
No, right now he's one of the top 3 goalkeepers in the world.
I'm not going that far because he still hasn't done enough, like from a winning standpoint, and he still hasn't claimed that top France position. Once he does,
he's won 2 league titles.
You can't be top 3 and be backup goalkeeper in France. I'm sorry.
He's won 2 league titles.
Agreed.
And is now first. And he's now. Oh, sorry.
No, he's top 10. He's top 10. He's not top 3. He's top 10.
That's a choice by the coach to select whosoever they want.
I would say for me, he's top 3. Number 2, like he's won at least 2, potentially 3 league titles. He's now starting goalkeeper for France.
Who's ahead of France?
Then who's your 2 and 1? Because I got Oblak ahead of him still. I saw
Oblak's dropped off.
If I'm going again, I said right now. No, I'm going right now, and I'd say probably Courtois and Alisson.
Well, I have Alisson ahead of him too. Ederson, I'd have Ederson ahead of him slightly.
Hey.
Big up, people.
Big up,
Alex.
What's
Are
going
you
on?
having
What's the
English
news?
bias?
That was it.
No, it's not English spice.
Yeah,
I'm forgetting somebody right now.
bollocks, man. Just
I
just
can't
down
even-
the
I can't even
English
Yeah,
see it.
league
he's good,
bias,
though.
I
He's
should
good.
say.
He's good. I'll take him. I think he has potential to be a top goalkeeper of top number one.
He already is a top goalkeeper. He
I've
is
not
Well,
seen
already-
enough of
Donnarumma,
it.
I have Donnarumma ahead of him. Oh, Ter
What?
Steigen's definitely ahead of him. Ter
No,
Stegen's definitely ahead
No,
of him.
Ter Stegen,
no
no.
way.
What are we talking about? The
Yeah,
goalkeeper?
he's not top. He's not top three.
The
He's
AC
talking about
Milan
Mignon
goalkeeper.
versus who's it, Donnarumma or Lloris?
Fucking hell.
I would have. Well, I rate him over Lloris. Donnarumma's close.
He's better than Donnarumma.
He's better than Donnarumma, yeah.
Donnarumma just because
Yeah,
he went to
please,
PSG. I feel like whenever you go to PSG, it's just not good. This is not a good look for you.
No, he's just better than him.
Well,
What's
wasn't he
the-
starting
so
over
is that-
him? Wasn't
I didn't
Donnarumma
even-
starting over him when he won?
No,
the
Yeah,
league?
Donnarumma was starting over
They're
Navas.
debating the Milan keeper, Alex, who he's better and not better at.
Oh, okay. Who
Yeah, we're
cares?
talking about the top goalkeeper.
Question. What happens today? I didn't even been on Twitter.
Ngolo Kante is going to join Al Ittihad on a free transfer, 100 million euros wages a year.
I told you,
I
man,
don't work out when I could
that league is going places before MLS. Watch it.
I see it,
telling
man. See it.
I see it.
It's going to be the
because
all these
it's gonna-
players are just going to
it's
take
not
out the
gonna be
obvious guys.
retirement.
That's the thing. I was
This
going to
is the
say
biggest-
it's not the
it's not
same
going
as
to be
MLS.
retarded. Exactly, because I always said when I first came to United States, MLS is so donkey. It's still donkey. The problem is with this MLS, like they thought that they can bring like retards like Beckham, and think that they're gonna like a supersize like a how you say it, speed up the MLS process. I
development, yeah.
always said this
They
is
already
not how
have.
it is. It's the mentality. It's
I
the
think
already have.
mentality of the
It's
young.
not. I was say the MLS is not the same. It's not planning to be the same. It's not even that you're using the wrong comparison. This is the next Chinese league. That's what
Yeah.
what the comparison is.
That's a better
It's
comparison.
just pump a bunch of money into it,
Yeah, but
and you'll just
That's
get a
not
bunch
gonna
of guys
be-
towards
that's
the end
not
of their
gonna be
career.
Chinese.
that's
Yes,
the same
it's
thing.
and I
the
can
same as
tell
the
you
Chinese
why.
league.
I can
Exactly
tell
the
you
The
why.
same as the
Exactly
Chinese
the
league. The
same.
Chinese league did the same thing. The Chinese league literally did the same thing. They pumped a bunch of money into it. Got a bunch of guys like Oscar. They got Bakambu. They
Why did
got
they stop?
who else did they get?
Why
think
did
They
the
got
government-
Holt. They
The
got
money
a
ran
bunch of
out.
guys.
Can we talk one by one? I don't have time for this. Scott, what I'm trying to say, yes, it started like Chinese league. I agree with you. The question is, Chinese league, it stopped. Do you think that the money will stop coming into the South?
They didn't stop
South
because of the
America?
money. It's not because of the league rules. It's not about
Yes.
the money. It's about the league
Okay,
rules. It
okay.
depends if Saudi Arabia end up trying to do the same thing.
That's
They
my
probably won't, but it depends if they do the same thing. It's not about money.
That's
But
my
that's the
point.
closest example.
So to say it that it's like a Chinese, it's inaccurate because Chinese they had to change the rules.
No, it's also money with the Chinese.
No,
too.
I'm saying the closest example. You use the example of the MLS. The closest example is the Chinese.
No. I didn't use in that sentence how MLS started. What I was trying to say, MLS tried to like advertisement by bringing the older players to MLS. That's how they tried to make it popular in United States.
That's not
And I
what they're
said they
doing
will
anymore.
never-
But
Yeah,
that's
that's
No,
what
they're
I'm
also
saying.
doing it.
That's
No,
what
yeah,
I'm
but
saying.
that's
That's
not
why
what the
I'm
MLS is. Yeah,
successful.
but that's cool. But that's not what the
Now-
MLS is doing. So I don't
This is
understand
what
this
they
comparison.
did it 20 years ago.
They are still doing that.
Yeah, 20
They-
years ago, and
not-
it worked at the time, and they then transitioned. They're
That's
doing
the
something
problem.
different.
It didn't. It didn't
It
work.
did. Beckham came in, and look at what has happened since he came in. Look at the how much bigger it became in terms of viewership and in terms of the money in the league. They then transitioned to something else, to more young
I've been
players.
in the United States. I
Can I-
think
can
I
I-
know what I'm talking about. It. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
think
Alex,
it's the,
both of
that's
you guys
the
are
pro- the-
both of you guys
my
are right.
problem-
Both of you guys are right. Okay, the MLS is still having older players come in because they're still trying to bring Messi to Miami and other older players to come in. But they also no, let me finish. They
Yeah,
also
yeah.
have been developing more too. That's why more young players like Solenina are going over to Europe.
That's
and
my
being taken.
point. Exactly. They
So both are
started the
true.
way they started, but at the end of the day, the players from United States, American players, decided to actually take a chance and go to Europe, and that's how it became actual. How you say it? Because you cannot make the MLS interested until your national team is known.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So for me, from the beginning, when people asking me like why, like what do you think of Beckham? I was like, no, this is not the right approach to grow the MLS. What you need to do, first of all, it's change mentality of the starts with the game itself. In the college, it's like a 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when you start to change, because they still look at soccer as watch kids for me, please, for 2 hours.
It's AYSO. Yes. So like no, but this is the thing. I grew up where I'm from. Landon Donovan's from. So like Landon Donovan was that one player who did stay. Actually, we gotta actually respect him because he did help grow the league a lot. But yeah, no, now the league is it's better quality, but it's still not as popular as any of these other leagues. And it won't be.
It's grown for the past 10 years a lot, substantial. And it's not because Zlatan came or Beckham came. It's not because of that. It's because the game interested actually the kids that went overseas. They became good players. So the league became more interested. Another thing is it depends on the state. It's hugely depends on the state. You can tell me that Beckham can, yes. Nobody on the East Coast knew who's the Beckham and who's LA Galaxy is. I can tell you that for a fact. Nobody cared about the Beckham. Nobody knows who the Beckham was on the East Coast because nobody even knew that LA Galaxy existed. I promise you that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I was here when the whole thing shift was moving, and that's what I was saying. That like if you start to bring kids overseas and make them play decent games on the national level, that's when MLS is going to start growing.
Yeah. People knew about the Red Bulls though, because Henry was
Henry did come. He brought some credibility, but not as much as Beckham.
And then Pirlo and Lampard came to New York.
I remember that. Yep, I remember that. But about the Saudi league, they're going to be very much like the Chinese league because
thank you, JJ.
What they're trying to do in the Middle East is divest all their oil money into other entities, sports and branding and stuff like that. And they're going to try to do with this league and branding and all because they're invested in a lot of American companies, like a lot of these top companies. They're going to try to build like this whole ecosystem that's like global and international. So like they're trying to import the players into the league to play in Saudi Arabia, but then they're going to try to like export them playing elsewhere, if that makes sense, to make money off of them. So like, but I don't know if that'll work compared to the Chinese league, because the Chinese league tried to do it similar, but because of how China's structured as a society, it was going to be hard to ever like export that as much. So they might be able to succeed because Saudi Arabia is a lot more.
In the chat, I'm not talking about MLS right now. MLS right now is huge in the United States. I literally live beside ATL. I know how big that team is. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about 20 years ago. I'm talking about early 2000s. I'm not talking about current MLS. I'm talking about when it started. That's it.
MLS is right now at a farmers league level. It's like Netherlands, Dutch.
Some teams are actually decent. I watched.
Some teams are good, but it's like they're just getting the best players poached.
By the way, Saudis.
There's some good young talent that's in the MLS too. There's Diego Almada, the Argentinian.
About Saudis, you cannot say it's a Chinese cut. You know why? Because Saudis actually overtaken a PGA.
They've done the golf, they're doing the boxing.
They took in
when I say it's like the Chinese league,
like a Chinese
best example. Yes, like it will be more sustainable, but it's the same thing. And the problem is, this is the problem they're going to do is at the end of the day, unless they can fill basically all the teams with these top level players, because this was the problem with the Chinese league as well, is it got to a point where like you'd go and watch a few games. I remember they showed them on Sky in the UK, and you'd watch like what was it, whoever the team that Hulk and Oscar played.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, whatever it was. Like you go and watch them for a game, and it's like this is cool. And then you watch 2 or 3 more games, you go, well, this is just shit.
Boring,
like this dog shit. And you're watching Hulk smash a goal in from like 30 yards. You're watching Oscar beat about 3 man. You're like, yeah, this is dead, because the quality of player is just awful. And that's the thing they've got to make sure if they can make sure that a lot of the players are old, but like if they can have the quality high, then it'll be good. But if it's just going to be like a few like players like Benzema, Ronaldo, Anderson Talisca, Kante, Zaha potentially. I saw today.
Signed today. I saw it.
But that's the thing. I think
and then if you have like those guys, then you have, no offense, but some of the Saudi guys, and it's like I don't care. Like, I'm just going to watch these guys run.
Do you think the Eastern players are actually a better level than the Chinese players at that time when they started?
Saudi Arabia is a lot higher level.
Oh, it's better, but I'm saying there's still it's better, but there's still a massive massive gap.
Yes. But there's
a
few that can play. There's a few that can hang with them. You can have one, because the thing is they can't fully destroy the squads because they have to still have a national identity. So people that are local will go watch. Well, they'll go watch, but they could get rid of 10 out of players. They have to have at least one Saudi player in the starting 11. That's all they got to do.
This is why I don't necessarily think, unless you're going to build the entire. This is why I don't necessarily think that these type of things work, unless you're going to do it in a league where the level of talent in terms of from players for the actual team, like domestic players, I mean, is a higher level. Just because, like, I just feel like you end up getting. That was the problem with the Chinese. Like, I just feel like unless this is going to improve, unless this is going to improve the level. Yeah, let's say it's going to improve the level of all Saudi footballers. Like, it's going to improve the level of football in terms of
from players out of Saudi Arabia. Is it the Middle East League, or is only Saudi?
Is it Saudi?
No, it's only Saudi.
Okay, but I don't think
unless it's going to do that,
that's
then
what
like
I was trying to say, Scott. Like, look, it's a big market. Don't get me wrong, it's a big market. I always said it's a big unpoached market. The thing is about the Saudi knows that they have a limited resources on oil. They know the year when it's gonna stop. So they're trying to get themselves into the position where they already have established economy without just being oil productive countries. See what I'm saying? Like Dubai, they know that we're not gonna have the oil is gonna run out at a specific year. So they're trying to make a tourist level so high so everybody goes over there for tourist. If I can grow this league, the middle, like not just Saudis, but Middle East League. You see what I'm saying? Like the Middle East League, that will make it big. I think it will make it big for them.
I think you're right, Alex. I think the location is wrong. I don't think it'll be in the Middle East because the Middle East is going to get harder and harder. And I know more people do travel there, but I think the goal is to export. Similar to back in the day when the top Brazilian teams like Pele would go around the world, play these games in different countries. I think, and this ties into the whole even Super League. I think the goal would be their vision would be like we could get all these good players and then have them play games against some of these top teams in Europe and make money off the branding, do competitions.
That's what they already do. But
they're gonna try to expand this. And
but that's what the Club World Cup is, and that's because that's the whole point of things like point of things like the UEFA Champions League, the CONCACAF Champions League, the Asian Champions League.
The World Cup is in Qatar is the reason why for it.
Yeah, but like all of these competitions lead to getting to the Club World Cup, which then is exactly that. You get the likes of the Seattle Sounders playing against a team from whoever they played, Al Hilal.
I don't think they want it.
You're getting Al Hilal playing Palmeiras. You're getting Al Hilal.
So right now, that's just a one-off. It happens that it's just they want it bigger than that. Something that's it's set in stone, similar to a Champions League type of competition. So
it's
they do want to expand
League. That's the people don't get it. This is not UCL and under UCL. It's under FIFA.
Yes.
Yeah. So they can expand it. They can make it bigger.
They can make it bigger.
No, but when you say bigger, is in more often because they already have made.
No, not more
no,
often.
because
I'm talking
the
about
Club World Cup they've made bigger. Like that's basically what you're talking about. The Club World Cup they've already made bigger. Like it's now like 32 teams.
No, they've made it bigger, but it's still a self-contained competition within only a couple. It's still like what they made it near the World Cup length, I guess. But I think what the Saudis would want is to be able to have their teams have continuous to where like you could turn on every weekend to see basically what is all-star teams they're trying to create, playing top teams around the world. That's what
I actually will scout on this.
That doesn't work.
Time will tell.
No, but that what you just said there doesn't work because sooner or later it's not an all-star game anymore. It's normal. It's who cares? It's like it's cool the first 10 times you see it. Say you see an Al Hilal or an Al Nasser play PSG. That's cool. Then you've seen it 10 times. It's like
the novelty wears off.
That's why things like the All-Star game in America work because it's once a year and it's you see like for example, they changed it. Went okay, we're doing MLS versus Liga MX. Now they've gone back. They're doing Arsenal this summer. Like it's a novelty thing, and so if the novelty wears off, no one cares. So you can't do it too often.
No, I'm not trying to say they want to make it novelty. I'm trying to say they want to have it more as
Scott,
like
how
we
we
view the Champions League.
it?
Like how we view the Champions League is there's a group stage. Like we're watching it the whole year.
They already have that. They have the Asian champion. This is the problem. Is like if they're trying to do this, these things already exist, and I don't know how you can expand on that without, as we've said, making it just.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they're gonna try to just make something new. They're gonna just come up with a whole new thing.
That's not how you get it. If I want to expand it, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to stay still and expand the local, and once in a year play international football against PSG or whatever the team in the Club World Cup. That's not how they should do it. Look, there's a reason why what's his name? Israel is in the Champions League. It's not Europe, but they consider Europe. If I can get some of those teams from Middle East into the Champions League, because Champions League is expanding. It's not only whatever the 32 teams.
Oh, I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, so you're more talking about like the UEFA Champions, like getting them away from the.
Yes,
that's kind of how I'm thinking too.
Yeah, gets them from the FIFA into the UCL, under the UCL. That's gonna be if I gonna, you see. But that will make him sustainable to, like you said, like Chinese, because UCL will make him obey the rules, which is FFP and blah blah blah. The thing is, if I can grow big enough before they join and then start applying, I don't see why not happening.
They're not going to bring them into the European side of things because they're already playing in the Asian region, so how they can't come into the UCL.
You're right, Jimmy.
That don't make any sense.
No, but this is something. Okay,
no,
but this
I'm talking about the club, not the country.
Yeah, not the
club. The club plays in the Asian Champions League.
But this gets tied in geopolitics, Loki. Let's listen to this real quick because of conflict.
They already played there. The winners of their the winners of their league plays in the Asian Champions League. Yes. They're not going to switch them over. You understand what I'm saying? I understand what Alex was saying. But they already played.
Why not?
Because they're not.
You're going to take money away from. That's taking money away from.
But that's a FIFA
versus Okay, no, I got it. No. I think this is what could be. This is just an idea here. This is not even like something I think will happen. But we see what's happening geopolitically with like the West realigning. Russia, China, Middle East getting closer. I don't know if like there's more relationships there that could tie into even football as well, to where you see some of the European teams join Middle Eastern teams and with the Asian teams and like kind of build their own thing. I don't think it'll be as competitive as
a wider Champions League.
Yeah, like we're kind of going back to
I don't see that. It's not.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. But like
the Champions League is the European champion. The champion cannot come from outside of Europe. It's going to look.
I was going to say, you know what the problem with this is? I was going to say that.
Where's Israel, Jimmy?
I do get your idea
Israel playing in the Champions? Why is Israel playing in Europa Champions and Europa League?
Like
European League. Why is Azerbaijan Baku? Jimmy, come on.
I do get the idea, but the only problem I see is
you see what I'm saying, Scott?
I do. The only problem is you do get.
It's not gonna happen, bro.
The only problem I see, or the only thing I foresee with this, is that you do get into a stage of, say, they do get some teams into the UEFA Champions League. At that point, then what's the point of the Asian Champions League? You do get to a point you almost might as well merge them.
That's what I'm saying.
You might as well start merging the CONCACAF Champions League in as well, and you might as well merge.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna. It's not like Israel was ever a part of a different Champions League.
Wait. I think this was going to happen because we always see FIFA against the European UCL. They hate each other.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see now more banding up.
Exactly.
Let's get the Asians. Let's get
but they have no reason to do it because none of those teams are even that powerful. It's like
let me tell you why. No. Look at all the investment that's coming from the Middle East into the European leagues. They own so much of the top teams in this league. They control it.
Yeah, that's exact. But they're not about to sit there and allow them to call all the shots. They're not going to do it.
But no. What I'm saying
Jimmy,
is that instead of how
you know
Scott,
what?
Bro, like
let me finish.
let's not forget that.
Let me finish, Jimmy. Instead of how Scott was talking about how the FIFA World Cup would expand and all these Middle Eastern teams would join, I think you're more so going to see the UCL join up with the Asian UCL to create their own thing.
Bro, look how far ahead you getting of yourself. Like
I know.
Still shit.
Look,
We're just talking. We're just talking. Hypothetically,
we're just talking, Jimmy. But one thing you need to realize: what company in the world of football was always have a corruption cases against them? FIFA and Champions League owners, man. Every time, man. Like Fraser says, money talks, baby.
I don't see them pulling a team out of a region of a Champions League that they already in.
I'm not talking about the region.
No, it's not about leaving.
I'm talking about one specific league, one specific team. All of a sudden, in the Champions League.
Nah. I don't see a fucking Middle Eastern taking the champion of a region in the Asian region. It was which they play in now when it's time for them to play Champions League.
Azerbaijan.
You say the Middle East
and take them and move them.
They were never playing in Champions League, man.
What were they playing in before? They were always been in the European.
Yo, Russia's in Asia. Russia is in Asia, bro. What are you talking about?
Russia is not Asia, man.
Man, come on, man. Some of it's in Asia, some of it's in Europe.
The other teams
Americans in geography. It's always funny. Americans in geography.
Siberia's in. Come on, yeah. Russia has land in Asia. Come on now.
Yeah, but it's got land in Europe.
Big up
Savić, Europe as well.
No, Habibi's leaving, man.
Oh, is Savić leaving?
No,
Savić is going to one of those Saudi Arabia teams. I bet you ass.
Yeah, you know what? Let him catch his bag, bro.
By the way,
money.
you know that
they're wasting 100 million on Savić.
Yo,
I'm talking geography.
Look,
Russia's landmass.
You know what happened? Remember the picture that I showed you with
yeah, you guys are dumb in the chat.
Savić in Russia.
Yeah,
yeah. He's helping Promes to collect his vote, bro.
You know what he did? He went on to the party with one of those his friends who actually faces drug charges.
Yeah, so
Quincy Promes, bro.
So what's your problem? What's your point?
Not just like a weed drug charge. He's actually in the freaking transport.
Bro. He's got murder charge. He got everything.
Why is he not in prison then?
Lewis.
Because he's in Russia, you stupid.
They're not taking him.
Wait, 1 second. I'm confused. What do you mean? So what?
You are. We know.
He's got multiple charges on
what country?
A bunch of alleged crimes because he's in
Belgium.
Russia.
What can Belgium police not come over and arrest him, bro?
Yeah, they can come to Russia and arrest him.
Oh yeah, Russia will just shoot them or some
Quick
shit.
question. Just on N'Golo Kante.
Go on, Lewis, because I got a question for Scott after. Go on.
Who's taking the number 7 shot?
Sterling.
To be fair, I saw someone tweet about this. There's a potential that come the start of the season we'll have no one wearing 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11.
F.U. Said.
No,
surely
you mean new players. You new players, Lewis.
Big up Said saying late night transfer stream.
Where's my money? Where's I make some more money, bro?
Get me my money, bro.
Said, Habibi,
Get me my money.
Pay money, man. Listen.
Time is money, and money is targets.
Scotty boy, Scott.
By the way, did you hear about 80 mil is actually gonna pay 80 mil?
Who?
United for Mount.
They are?
God willing.
80.
They're fucking crazy.
Chelsea's £70 million or no?
I haven't been on Twitter. I saw it on Telegram. I was notified on Telegram that apparently Todd Bowley is not backing down. He wants around 70, so it's going to be like 80 with bonuses or something. Wow.
What was all?
Yeah, United, you lot gotta pay up. You lot are stopping our progress. Time is money, bro.
Said, go tell United to pay up.
What an idiot fucking club. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so number 7, number 8, number 10, and number 11 will be vacant. The number 9 retired.
No, I know.
By the way, did the actual Chelsea club official Kante is not signing?
Oh, well, he's basically leaving. There's
He signed with El Gazillionaire.
Al Ittihad.
Al Ittihad.
Alex got this news from ketchup sources. That's actually funny.
Al Ittihad.
I can't.
Yeah, but Scott, I want to ask you this question, mate. Yeah, I want to ask you this one. Have you seen the Brighton latest offer for Colwell?
Yes, it's about half the price of what it should be.
Okay.
By the way,
would you accept 100 million, Scott?
I'm glad you said that, Scott, because earlier on they were talking on this stream about 30 million.
No, I actually wouldn't.
You wouldn't accept 100 million?
No.
Yeah,
I
was.
But you would you pay 100 million for Colwell?
When they were saying he was worth 30 million, I was like, what the fuck?
And only you and Moyo talking in the backstage. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking about? Or it's something private? Because I kind of stuck in
Greenwood. We're talking about Mason Greenwood.
Okay.
Yeah. You talking about the conversation we had backstage?
100 million for
I heard it. I was
like,
I didn't know what you're talking about, so I didn't want to be like, dropping.
Oh no. We were talking about the Greenwood
something,
situation.
so I kicked myself out real quick.
Yeah, that Scott, to me that doesn't make sense. How can you say you wouldn't accept 100 million for Colwell, but you wouldn't pay 100 million for Caicedo?
Because I don't think Caicedo is worth 100 mil, and because
Colwell is.
No, I think he is, but also I wouldn't sell him because this is another Reece James level talent that we have from the academy.
You think Colwell is worth 100?
Here we go.
Yeah, he said you would reject 100 million for Colwell.
Wait, what?
That's crazy, bro.
Yes, I would.
Wow.
Reject 100. You think it's at that level?
Yes, or at the very least, I think he's on a Reece James level talent. I think
but you would reject 100 million?
I'll let time prove that, right?
I will actually accept 100 mil for Reece James right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think I would take 100 million for Reece James, let alone fucking Colwell.
Not all about money, guys.
Okay, Jimmy, I'll ask you this. I think we had this discussion before. Say James is 100% fit in his best form. Would you take 100 mil?
No, but I'm working with what I know.
Yeah.
No, but that's my point. That's fair. What my thing is like I think that comes from a lot of where he is at now in terms of his injury.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. As far as the raw talent, no, he's worth 150.
Exactly. And that's what I'm working off. For me, like people can disagree. For me, Colwell was that level of talent. I think he gets to that level of talent.
Yeah, but Scott, hold on a second. But now, we're talking about now.
I'll put it to you this way,
Alex. Nowhere near now that money.
60 million, I'd say now.
I'll put it to you this way, though, because with this hypothetical, right, that Ziad said, the only clubs bidding 100 million are bidding that for Colwell because they see that in him. So why am I selling him for that? Because the only clubs doing that are probably Real Madrid or City.
And they could be fucking dead wrong, and I'll still be going with 100 million.
Jimmy, I'm not risking that. I don't care.
Oh man, fuck that. He's gone. Right now, I'll sell him between 40 and 50. He gone. You give me between 40 and 50, he's fucking out of here.
Look, if we can get anything from buyback, first refusal, or anything like that, I think sell him.
A buyback on 100 million?
Also,
no, not 100 million.
Does Colwell want to be here? That's the big question.
That's the question, Scotty boy.
Oh yeah, where is Pocodoco, by the way? Is he crying his tears out?
Cool. Do you know how you convince him to stay? By showing that you want him.
Yeah, but
us rejecting 2 bids, is that not enough?
Wait,
no.
By the way, when is his contract?
What do you mean by showing it like you want?
He's got one more
as in give him a fucking chance. If you give him a chance and he turns out to be nothing, then that's cool. Because I guarantee you can still. Hang on. We're seeing from this window, by the way. We're seeing from the bid we got from Conor Gallagher from Everton that even if some of these guys do fuck all in terms of their careers, you can flip them for a decent amount of money. So, like, the worst you can do is give this guy a chance and he turns out to be shit. You then flip him for 40 mil anyway, and we're in the same point. So, who cares? Like,
that's a 60
or
mil
you give him a chance, he proves to be better than what we already have, and he turns out to be that Reece James level talent and be worth, that 100 mil level thing, and
I
it's
agree
like
with
cool.
you. I agree with you, but at
No,
the
we should
same
keep
time,
him.
hold on a second. No, that's not what it is. For me, if we had a good team already, full good team, like set up, yes, Colwill is valuable. But since we have so many holes in this team, by leaving one good player and base one good player potential, by not improving the holes in the team, that's the problem with me looking at the Colwill. Do you understand, Scott?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'd rather.
It's based on
I would
the
risk.
situation right now.
Yeah, I would risk losing Caldwell if I could
No.
plug in two other positions
Exactly.
for what I'm gonna get for him. Because it's not like we're short of center backs.
But we're already selling other players.
Exactly, that's the point, and we're already selling other players. Like,
just go and buy Casado. Why do you
think Brighton would take?
No, we're not talking about. We're talking about if somebody said they were going to spend 100 million.
Yeah, if
bro.
100 million.
No, like I'm still saying.
Factor in, there's other players that teams are willing to buy, so we can still reject the 100 million. I don't have an opinion on this either.
Oh,
he's
I got an
definitely
opinion.
He's definitely not worth 20 fucking million, like people were saying on the stream earlier.
100 million. You could take him. I'm packing up his parents, his siblings, everybody. You can't.
No, I was just
with you,
thinking,
Jimmy.
No.
I mean, the guy has a talent. I watched him. The guy has a talent.
Not $100 million
this
worth
minute,
of talent.
Right this minute, the Chelsea first 11 is more important than just one player. Potential one player.
But reverse psychology. If somebody's offering 100 million, that must
exactly. That's
that don't. I don't give a fuck what they offering. They don't know.
Mil?
They don't know nothing more than what they. It's impossible. They know the player better than the people who own the player.
Did
It's
somebody
impossible.
actually offered 100 mil for him?
No.
Jimmy, how much will it take for Reece James?
It's a hypothetical, but it's the same thing I said earlier. There's
I'll
no way
take
you're getting
100 mil for Reece James right now.
No, but
No
Alex,
way,
my question was, it's just that how could you? I don't understand how you would reject 100 million for Colwell, but at the same time say you wouldn't pay 100 million for Caicedo.
I don't think Caicedo's worth 100 mil. You missed the conversation
I
earlier.
actually think that Caicedo is better suited for Chelsea the way we want
different
to play
positions.
than
This is hard to
actually what's
compare.
his name.
I'm gonna say this. I think Caicedo will be a better player than Caldwell.
Nope.
No, I don't know. That's hard to debate because it's a different position.
What?
No, you're not hearing what I'm saying. Relative to their fucking positions. You mean two different positions.
Okay.
Relative to their positions, he's going to be a better player.
I think the news is
But
heading
still,
slow
like,
in
yeah, I
California.
don't know. That's a hard comparison.
Jimmy,
I
you
think-
still on the East Coast or you back on the West Coast?
No, I'm in the East.
Give
You're
him
in the
what?
East?
60 mil.
I thought you live in California.
Give them for
No, man, I live in Delaware.
Ooh, are you
Like,
Biden's neighbor?
realistically, how much Colwell worth though? Is it 40-ish or 30?
If I'm by who? If I'm by where?
Hey, midfielders are worth more
Biden's
than.
neighbor.
What are you guys talking
I
about?
said Colwell.
Yeah, Biden's right up the road, man. All the Bidens are right up the road.
Colwell's worth 50.
About 35 minutes
there.
from me.
Thank
It's
you.
like one exit.
Defenders are
next
worth
exit
less than
Delaware is
midfielders. Like,
is
defenders are the
finished.
cheapest position. compared to goalkeepers.
So Scott, here's the other issue, right? Here's the other issue. If would you pay 80 for Caicedo?
Of course.
That's the maximum I pay for Caicedo.
I'll pay 85.
Okay, so if Brighton
And one.
if Brighton
Jimmy, you
say,
should work for Arsenal.
but if Brighton say nothing but 100 million and we don't get him, who the fuck do we get?
Brighton's not gonna say that.
Yeah,
Well,
they're not gonna happen.
here's what happened.
There's
Hang
so
on.
many
Ziad,
players. Why does
Ziad,
everybody act like
Ziad,
there's no players
hang on,
in
no,
the fucking
Ziad,
world?
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
Brighton is not
Ziad,
gonna say that,
hang on.
bro.
Ziad, here's what you do. You go and tell the scouts their fucking jobs and go find someone
Yeah,
else.
do
There's
your
Zubi
fucking
Mendy.
job.
Bro, I was gonna say you got Zubi Mendy, you've got Kone, you've got
Zubimendi,
Thuram.
I will
who's
buy
about to
him,
go
Anybody
but
to
he
play
Liverpool.
doesn't
football
want to
manager
come.
here?
That's what the
Zubimendi
fucking
is
scouts are for.
so
Go and find other players, man.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
fucking
but
players
who's
in
gonna
the world.
spend 100 mil on Caicedo? Who's gonna do that?
Also, I
Somebody
was going
will.
to say, if they're telling, like I said this before, right, and I'll say it again, if this whole idea is you have to spend 100 mil on a midfielder, you're going to get fucking Rice then because he's better. Like,
Well, I like-
Yeah,
Nah,
exactly.
I don't know about that.
I think
Yeah,
Caicedo
yeah.
and Rice are
Hold
actually
the
the same
here.
level.
Yeah,
Russ-
I think Caicedo's my guy
Caicedo is
over
more
Rice.
physical though.
I love how we
Way
just have
more
this
physical.
recency bias, man. It's so funny.
I
Nobody
was
was
going to say,
talking.
this
I
man's
think
had a
It's
Caicedo
not
year
no
in
is
the Premier League.
recency
I
bias,
think-
bro.
It's
It ain't got to do with no
bias. This
recency
man's had a year.
bias. It's about looking at a player, watching him play, and judging what you like.
Because he's all in the news. Like, there's other Caicedos. Like, scouts.
Okay, well, name them then. Name them. Who's the other Caicedos?
I'm not saying I know them, but
okay, well, there's other Rices then. Get the fuck out of here with that same logic. There's other Rices then.
You did not know Caicedo months ago, Jimmy.
There's a dirty rice.
Bro, I don't give a fuck. Who the fuck ever said that I rated rice?
That's my point.
There's Jasmine rice.
Who ever said? Did you ever hear me wax poetic about rice? You've never in your life heard me say, "Oh, we have to get Declan Rice." Declan Rice is mad to me. He's all right.
I didn't say Declan Rice. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what it is. Then that's your opinion. Says, man, that's cool.
No, but I'm talking to him. He talk about a few months ago you didn't say that about Caicedo. I'm saying it now. I don't give a fuck about no few months ago. I watched him play this year.
No, you're right. You're connecting things I said. I'm not talking about Rice Caicedo.
You know what I was more interested? Do you know what's more interested about the Caicedo? What turned my head is actually the World Cup.
Wide receiver, best of all time, San Francisco.
You know, hold on a second, Scott. You know why Caicedo? I think it's well, I think we're at the same like level right now. I'm not saying what the past. Dirty Rice had the more experience, more sample size than Caicedo, so he could be like 10 million more. But one thing that I think that Caicedo is better than Rice is in a higher position. He's good as Rice in the back, but what showed me in the World Cup how good he can be in the offensive zone.
Man, if Caicedo was from Stretton and Tooting, they'll be the same fucking thing. Because he'll have English fucking bias, and everybody he'll be one of the men's them, and everybody be tooting his fucking horn, and he'll be worth 100 million. Nobody would have a problem. It's just what is where he's coming from.
No, it's not.
That people is like.
Hang on. We're talking about.
I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about y'all specific. I'm just talking about the way people judge players. The way people judge players.
Expired.
You understand what I'm saying? He fucking destroyed in the World Cup. When you saw him on the World Cup level, he destroyed. He came back this year, and in the same league that Rice play in, he was just as good as fucking Rice this year. And he did it at multiple positions, under multiple coaches. And he played fucking right back and pocketed Martinelli. Right back.
Well,
Martinelli's one of the best wingers this year. He pocketed him.
Rice
best winger
back before, which is he did it well.
Yeah, Martinelli, what the hell?
Martinelli was one of the best wingers in the league this year.
But that statement's true. That statement's true.
Fuck, who's gonna argue that?
No,
how could you even argue that?
That's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, but Scott, Rice would ask for like 300k a week. Are we gonna give him that?
You lot.
Are we giving him 300k for what?
How old is Caicedo?
21.
Yo, they really naming all the types of rice, man. That is fucking hilarious, man.
Nobody will name the word rice, man.
Hey, respect a
rice and peas, bro. Rice and peas. Yes, man. I'm waiting for somebody to type one type of rice, and they gone. It's called bun. If y'all don't know what bun is,
rice, bro.
That's the bottom of the rice when it burnt. That's the best, and it's real chippy and crunchy.
Jimmy, what do you know about that?
We are talking about, brother. What do you mean what me know about that? I want to you, brother.
It's a Jamaicans here.
Yeah, man. Fucking bun is the sweetest. Yeah. I might speak that. Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't. But don't get it wrong. Even though we're going back and forth, I'll take Rice. Don't get it fucked up. I'll take Rice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I'm the same.
Yes, I would take him. He's not a bad player.
That's my point. That's my point. Is you can agree with this earlier. Like we're doing the same thing now with Caicedo that we did with Ugarte, where it's like, we're pinning everything on. We've got to get him. And I'd like us to get him. Like I'd like to get Caicedo.
It's not the end of the world if we don't.
Yeah, we're doing this thing where he's not the only option. That's what the fucking scouts are for.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that.
Guys to do. Like that's what we signed them to do. If they if it turns out right that we don't get Caicedo and then we're panicking and we can't get an option and it's like Bakayoko has to come back, then why did we sign these guys? That's the whole fucking point of them being here.
Exactly. And let them cook. Like, we got to let them cook. Oh, this fucking Bakayoko, man.
You know what's funny? People like Kai saying that he's been calling for Ugarte before he was calling for Casado, which is lie.
Lewis,
that's a lie.
Chelsea fans.
Lewis, when you the first one to start that chant at Atletico Away, like 6 years ago?
I'll be real. The only two people.
Were you the first person?
Scott was the only person I heard talk about Ugarte. Scott was the only one.
There's only two guys that I've seen speaking about Ugarte from the start, and that was me and a guy called Cams, who's a Liverpool fan, who me and Lewis know.
Yeah, Scott was the person who put me on to Ugarte like probably about a couple months ago, maybe like 2 months ago now.
Yeah,
I think
a month ago I did not know who Ugarte was, and people
we was in a on one of these lives, and he mentioned them, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go look up his comps, and that's what I did. I looked them up on nothing but comps, just comps.
I did too.
Yep.
I watched the Arsenal game. I didn't watch it. I was like, it was in the background playing. I didn't even pay attention. Even then, I didn't pay attention to Ugarte. I saw the guy that was tackling a lot, but I didn't think it was him, so I didn't pay attention. But then all of a sudden, I went and watched the camps, and it was still questions for me how he can be is that double pivot midfielder.
If we miss out,
because he was more is Fatou talking to himself.
Yeah, he just I don't even know. Like it was crazy because I'm listening to I'm watching Alex talk, and then I just heard Fatou, and I didn't even look at him. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
You are a waste man. Oh my god!
I heard what Fatou said. And it was a good question. The problem is, it was right in the middle of while you were saying something.
I didn't even hear what he said. I wish I heard what he said.
No,
he was like in the distance.
What are you talking about? Okay, cool.
I said Paulinho.
Yeah, man, bring Paulinho in, man.
Oh yeah, I would take Paulinho.
I'll take Paulinho.
Yeah.
What?
I'll take any.
He's not a kid.
That's the guy. That's the guy should be at Chelsea right now. That's the guy Chelsea should focus on.
Another thing people forget: the reason why we can't get one expensive players and not bunch of them, we need to think about players like Paulinho if we qualify for the Europe next season. Right now, we don't need a big squad.
Yeah,
I heard some weirdo talking on the spaces today. I don't know, some guy with Italian last name, Levonti, something, Benotti, Chelsea fan.
No.
Anyway, him and some other idiot, I don't even know who the other idiot is, but they had the space.
There, he's talking about Louis, bro.
What? You talking about Beneventi?
Yes, what are you doing?
Yeah. We know what you talk about. Now, Cook, Alex Cook.
I don't know who the guy is, but look, you know
Cook, Alex Cook.
Wait.
You know what
Alex,
he was saying? He was saying like things like, the reason why, because we need the big squad, we need to buy players as a squad players, and I'm sitting over there in Lowe's because I was buying the chain, and I was thinking like, we haven't one game a week, right?
One fucking game.
One game. Why do we need the big squad? We just got in trouble with the big squad. Bro.
His ball on us wasn't there, to be fair.
Well,
I was young.
Some guy that looks like a ghost of Christmas.
Alex, by the way,
Pella's
white. Can I just say, as soon as you said I was hearing someone on this, you didn't even have to say Italian last name. The first person that came to mind when you said you were hearing someone on Spaces was him.
I know it's Italian.
Lewis, why are you laughing, bro?
But anyway,
fuck him. That's why.
So he's a known dickhead, huh?
Like the guy that looks like been stuck into the lockers all his high school career. I don't know who's the.
Is he a chubby? Is he like a chubby dude?
Yeah.
I know he is.
Looking like chubby. Yeah.
Chubby.
He looks like a Pillsbury dog.
Well, I didn't want to fat shame. You know they're gonna say I'm fat shame.
I don't care.
Look
fat is fat.
He's trying to hold his laugh, bro.
Yo.
Okay, let's say he got tits. He got tits. Okay, he got tits. We can say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that your best friend, Louis? Somebody said it's your best friend. I'm sorry.
Is it?
What the fuck? Oh my!
I will time you out, you dickhead. Don't ever associate me.
Oh, Andre Santos' visa has been approved. Nice.
I saw Louis. I saw somebody said it on the chat. That's why Never mind.
Nah.
Fred said,
oh yeah, somebody did say it in the chat. Fred said it.
I saw that and I was like, I didn't mean to insult your friend. So.
No,
he's not. So.
Ban him for life.
Fuck him.
Fuck you, Fred.
Louis Beneventi slander run anytime.
Oh yeah, Beneventi. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I fucking said that 10 minutes ago, bro.
Hey, Beneventi.
Hey, it's a pizza time.
Hey, what's the matter? Hey, Fata. Hey, you fat son of a bitch. Hey, get out of here. No, I'm sorry. That's a Jersey Italian. That's a Jersey Italian. Hey, get the fuck out of here. What the fuck is wrong with you? What's your name? Fator? What are you? What are you, Mongolian fucking Chinese? What are you? What are you?
What are you doing now?
Indonesian? What the fuck is that? What do you make? You make fried rice and what do you make? What the fuck do you make?
This is how
you eat dog? What do you do?
Jimmy, relax.
No, he's talking.
Hey, Lewis, what's your problem over here, Lewis? What's your problem?
Jimmy's on a gas station week right now.
Jimmy's on another
one. That's an American Italian, if y'all don't know, man. And I'm from Jersey. That's how they talk. I swear to God. They be like, hey, Jimmy, what's up, brother? What's up, my chocolate friend? I be like, come on, bro. Come on, that's borderline. He be like, come on. I'm fucking Sicilian. Me and you are pretty much just a fucking like. Come on.
No, they did used to make fun of the Italians and call them black. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you know that trade that what happened over there in Italy with Northern Africa. Come on, they went through slinging that meat around.
If I send it to you,
them Italian women said, "What's that? Y'all got 3 legs?" We said, "Yes."
Jimmy, bro.
You can have 3 legs. Yes, this one is actually a stoop. You can sit on it.
What am I hearing? Right?
You know what you're hearing? You're paying up 80 million for mount. That's what you're hearing.
Oh, that's that dude, Cash. I like that dude, man. I like that dude. I like that dude. I like that. Yo, he be ripping people apart on the terrace, yo. He be ripping people apart. Yo. I'm not even gonna lie. The first few times I heard him, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't watching the screen, and I thought it was a black dude. I turned around, I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Yo, that's one of the men there. My black dude right here. He was ripping their ass apart." And then somebody tried to say the way he was talking, he was fake. I was like, "Nah, that shit's not fake. I can tell that shit authentic as fuck, man."
Yo,
I like dude.
Pay up, man. Pay up.
Yeah, I like Cash. I like Cash. He's a Cash. I like that dude, man.
Yeah. Same thing. Cause it's good.
Yeah, Cats, tell them free up that Man U money, brother, and take Mount. Take fucking Mount. Y'all can take Connor too.
Money, bro.
Throw another 5 in a pack of fucking chips. Y'all can take Connor Gallagher. Take Blonde Mount too. There you go. Look, he's a fucking mouth breather. He's a mouth breather, man.
Buy one, get one free.
He was barking.
Why look like it's allergy season where he at? Look, his mouth is always open. Close your mouth, dude.
Gallon dog, man.
Oh god.
Man, I couldn't.
We can't believe it. Yo, when we take
Casado and Roland, where's Casado and Roland, man? You got no money.
Bro, your fucking roof is leaking.
Quick question. So, don't you guys think Chelsea will be put in a position where they'll have to go over the market value for Caicedo because they clearly don't want to go over?
I don't care. It's not my money.
Yeah, like
I'm saying, don't you think they'll be contradicting themselves if they go for over the market value for Caicedo but not Ugarte?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Why is Ugarte better than Caicedo?
No, it's the wages.
It was Ugarte
they'll have to pay the wages for. Okay, they'll also have to pay wages for Caicedo.
And you got to remember, like the other teams going in, that's gonna be going in for Caicedo outside of Man U. They don't bust up their wage package.
Jimmy,
like Arsenal wage scale.
If Arsenal pay 100 for
Hey, Cars, I forgot to link your Old Trafford, man. My bad.
Why we cannot pay 80 for Caicedo?
Exactly, Scott.
Why?
No, Alex. I'll go. No, what if they pay 100 for Rice with 300 plus K a week on his wages, why can't we pay 100 million for?
They're not going to pay Rice more than Saka.
Of course they are. They're going to pay him like 250.
No, they're not going to pay Rice more than those guys.
Ziad.
Yeah, Rice is going to be on close to 300K, Jimmy.
Why did you say my name? Why did you say my name when Alex? Why did you say my name when Alex said spend 80 mil? That's literally what I said. I spent
Yeah,
I'd spend
Scott said 80 mil is fine.
No, 85.
What are you talking about, bro?
85, Scott. It's Scott 85. Hey, Scott. Hey, Scott 85.
This is why nobody respects you, man. You're just sticking your nose where it doesn't belong.
Yo, fuck you, Alex, man.
You wish, man. As far as I can see, the only F you did is Fatur's neck.
Whoa. Fatur, man.
The only rolls you ever saw is Fatur's
them sweat creases, man. Yeah, sweat creases.
Turn your camera off, man.
Those lips, man. Those lips not lying on Fatur's neck.
Yeah,
leave him alone.
Alex, leave him alone.
The more I think about it, right, Ziad, going back to the thing we had earlier, I would rather, with Caicedo, spend 100 mil than include Colwell in any sort of deal.
I see what you're saying. That's
I agree with that. I agree with that. Keep Colwell, hell yeah.
If you're telling me, I've got two choices: spend 100 mil for Caicedo, or it's like 60 plus Colwell or 40 plus Colwell. I'm spending 100 mil. I'm spending 100 mil.
Yeah, but they don't. But they want to let go of Colwell though.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He's a player.
They already let go. He's back.
No,
the loan is over, bro.
Chalaba like 60 or something.
No, Chelsea don't want to sell.
And Mount, this is
all these
Caicedo.
numbers. It don't fucking matter. Just pay. I don't give a fuck. Just bring the
Exactly.
players.
That's the thing. If
We
your
sell
choice
Mount
is to
and
pay,
Mount, and we got money for Caicedo.
and then at that point, just pay.
We
Like,
have
I'd
enough.
rather not-
We have
And
enough
he
players
probably
outgoing.
runs
We
as
don't
two of
really
them.
care about money.
Yeah, like I'd rather not pay 100 mil, but if we have to pay 100 mil rather than like include Colwell, cool.
I understand, and that's what I was trying to say, cause Caicedo is more valuable for Chelsea than Colwell. That's my point. At this moment, as much as I love the way Colwell could be, I don't think Chelsea can afford to.
That's true. That is true.
Don't but.
No, there is a but, because what I'm saying is that the drop off from Caicedo.
We all saw your ass on
no.
neck. So
from the drop off from Caicedo to someone else is dramatic. So we need to. So
right now,
who's someone else?
No,
That's what I'm saying.
It is right now, but they're trying to get two midfielders. So
yeah, but Lavia, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, way overpriced on Lavia, but I don't think it's gonna be close. I still think we can get.
What do you think they're gonna sell? What do you think they're gonna sell Lavia for?
50, probably.
I think
40, 50. Yeah.
Something I only found out the other day, by the way, which is kind of mad. You know, Lavia is only 4 months older than Santos.
Yeah, he's 19.
Don't put the energy
By the
up,
way,
please, Let's not do that.
That's
No,
another thing. That's another thing. If Santos, somebody said that Santos got approved,
Newcastle's taking him.
That could be potential for him, and we're not gonna go for Lavia at all.
That's what I'm thinking, because the way that the club view Santos is the same way that a lot of fans view Lavia. Like they see Santos as like more. I was gonna say they see Santos as this. Like I was gonna say the owners and this like the scouting network seem to view Santos as like almost an Enzo like could get to an Enzo level type player, or like that top midfielder. And like if that's what you see him as, including the squad next season.
Yes,
don't load.
I think
Brazilians think he'll be the next like Casemiro.
And you know what's crazy though? If you watch him play in his age group, he look like he don't belong there. He just be bossing. He looks like he's levels above those kids that he playing with under 21.
For example,
no, isn't there Danilo?
Hold on a second. The kid, what's his name? That Brazilian kid, Santos is more noticed around the whole Europe. Lavia is only known in the Premier League.
In the Premier League, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if because we all talked about based on his work permit. If he got the work permit and his loan is over in the summer, I don't see us buying Lavia because he will actually can show us some levels. They keep
but can Santos play in a double pivot?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
he can actually
Santos
drop by
sometimes
himself.
is the first man to get the ball from the keeper.
Also, but the thing is with Santos is he is at a young enough age where you can mold him into that. Like he's
you can mold him into whatever you want.
Yeah, he's not
and he
like
scores fucking goals too. He scores goals.
He's not fully developed yet.
You know what people don't realize? As young as they are, they young enough to actually be switched and coached in a multiple position at that moment. That's the value of the young player.
Yeah, they're not stuck in any
He's
ways.
out. He's out all the way out Trafford. He's out Trafford.
Hey, Kaz, all I'm saying is, bro.
I mean, the tears are level, man.
Sorry, Kaz, that Mount Bruno midfield.
Mount Bruno is Casemiro.
Casemiro. I need a Casemiro knee injury, so I have to see McTominay, Mount Bruno. Like,
we need knee injury. Red card coming up. Red card coming up, Scott. Don't worry about it. Red card. Red card coming up. 5 games.
McTominay is not going to Newcastle.
Watch that
good and red.
McTominay is leaving, but he ain't going to the Newcastle. I promise you.
Bro, wait until he starts beating his chest and clapping the fans, bro. You're gonna fall in love.
I thought you were about to say something else when you said beat his level.
You what?
Jesus.
Ole, ole,
oh
my God, flawless.
That's ridiculous.
Wait, how about
run that money quick though?
Wait, what happened to Amrabat? Is he still an option?
He's another one. This is what I'm saying, by the way. This just goes back to the conversation.
By the way.
I don't like him.
But even so, you've got Amrabat, Zubimendi, you've got
they're not Caicedo. They're not Caicedo, Scott.
I will take Zubimendi over Caicedo. Just what? Yeah.
You got that other Enzo. What's his name? Enzo.
And how about the guy from Porto? The guy from Porto,
I don't
Uribe?
think he's United level.
They're not Caicedo.
No, Uribe's just
They're not Caicedo. That's what we. Oh my God.
It's not Caicedo, bro.
You know Jimmy, the one you're talking about.
Enzo, Caicedo, and Lavia, bro.
Stop raping your mic, man. Fuck you, Fata, man.
Ziyad, wallahi, bro.
You already did it.
Why is everybody in his case every stream, man? Allow for 2, man. Jesus Christ.
Your Kaz, man. Come on, just hurry up and pay the money, man. Fuck's sake.
Oh, Amrabat's playing.
First of all, why do you need Amrabat if you have Casemiro already?
I got them the 2.
Oh, tomorrow, Scott, Amrabat versus Rice.
I was thinking that. That's
we'll see. Whoever wins that game, that's the better player.
On God.
And there's another answer. Yeah.
Amrabat is on crack sometimes. Yo, Amrabat and Ziyech link up, bro.
I'll tell you what. Zubamendi, Zubamendi, Caicedo, and Rice. Those are the 3 best midfielders right now. Zubamendi, Caicedo, and what's his name? And
Rice. Lewis, man.
Those are
Big up Zubi.
Whoa.
Yeah, what happened? Sangari. Yeah, I remember somebody was so big on Sangari last season.
I don't know who it
and
was.
all of a sudden he's quiet this season.
Yeah, it doesn't make them no less of a player because people not talking about him. That's the one thing that I always tell people. Just because the hype died down, that don't make them no less of a player.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like there's some players that are there. There's some players.
The only thing about Sangari is I don't know if he's as good in possession. I don't know if he worked I don't know what he's like on the ball.
I need to clip that, bro.
Why can't we go look in Serie A? They have a lot of good defensive midfielders. I feel like
I don't know.
There's a lot. You just need. Here's the biggest problem. What people don't get it. There's a lot of samples around the world. You can find the players. The problem is some teams don't have a time to develop them. You see what I'm saying? Look at how many people speak at once. All I want is one come. There's no level. Like Scott is right. There's a plenty of fish in the sea. The problem is you don't have time to be, because teams like Chelsea, if we're gonna sustain outside of top 4 for 2-3 years, it's dropping. There's a plenty of clubs that waited to take you out of there.
No, do you know what it is, Alex, as well? And I think, and this is a problem with our fan base as well. I think, say we'd gone last season, right, for Alvarez, he could have been amazing. But there would have been people that would immediately have looked down upon it because he's coming from the Eredivisie, like he's not a huge name. And I think people are still stuck in that mind of like, say we'd have got Paulinho, right? Like from Sporting, he hadn't gone to Fulham, and we got him for the 15, 12 million, whatever it was they bought him for. There'd 100% been people who straight away looked down upon it because of where he's coming from, the fact he's not a big name. And I think
another thing, Scott, for example, another thing.
That's why I can't say, sorry to interrupt that, like that's why people are speaking so much about Caicedo, but it's because he's been in the media so much. He's been kind of put out there as such a great player, and it's like, and it's like the World Cup as well, and it's like we forget, by the way, like this is not me trying to downplay him. Like he's a good player, but he's had one season.
You, Joy.
He's by the way, if depending on how.
Yeah, but what's the sample of Enzo then? Enzo,
no, I know,
Caicedo actually same. Caicedo has more experience, more in the news. Caicedo is more in the news than Enzo.
I knew about Caicedo last season. You said more experience. Enzo was. The noise I made was on the experience, because like I did actually look this up, I think yesterday, where by the way, Ugarte, if you take youth games into it, out of Ugarte, Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo, Ugarte's played the most minutes if you include like youth minutes as well. But this is the thing, like depending on how valuable you see his time in the Ecuadorian league, like this guy's had like 2 full seasons of first team football. Like he had 1 season in Germany. And not Germany, Belgium, and then he had last season. So yeah, like it's.
But the problem is our fan base are so.
Hold on, let me finish the sentence there. You see what I said about there's a plenty of players that we can like sign, and we can, but we just don't have time to develop. Look at the Chelsea situation from this point. We not only, for example, we cannot use the unexperienced player. When we have a full team of unexperienced, when you have for example, Manchester City, they can get somebody unexperienced, like that kid, a striker, what's his name, the short one, from Alvarez. They can take and they can use them when they need them. Chelsea doesn't have that. We don't have starting 11. So for us to be, for example, we could get somebody in the midfield to get experience, get him into the team, but we also need. In a forward position, are we going to buy forward position unexperienced players? We already have 2 over there. So if we get unexperienced players in every department, how do you think that those unexperienced players? It will be Arsenal.
Alex, I still think as well though that with the Alvarez thing, it comes down to like their fans aren't immediately jumping down like, oh, why are we signing this guy from the Argentinian league? And I think that helps as well, because like for example, like. I think some of it comes down to, I do agree with you, it's like experience, but it's also, as I said, like notoriety. Like the amount of people I see talking about, oh, I want us to get Mitrovic. Like, why? He doesn't fit what we're trying to do. He doesn't fit the system. You just want him because
how do you know that?
Because have you seen how Fulham play, and have you seen how a Pochettino team plays?
Yeah.
And it's not the same.
One thing
works for their
know, there's Scott. I agree with Scott on one position that we don't know. We definitely know how Pochettino plays as a striker. There's only one position I know. The midfield, I'll take my back that he only plays with 2 in a pivot. He doesn't. He does not always play 2 in a pivot. Sometimes he uses 1 and a quicker midfielder. That midfielder that only stays 1 in a deep, his quickest one. He does not hold on to the ball for too long. He gives it to more creative midfielders quick. Sometimes, for example, if you remember Wanyama does not hold on to the ball for a long time when he played. Or what's the other one that played for them? That Dembele, right? Dembele?
Yeah. Musa
Dembele. He did not hold on to the ball for what's the name? He always got the ball and he ran with it.
Ericsson?
No, it was Dembele. It was Dembele.
Yeah, Wanyama stayed deep. Dembele carried. Ericsson creator. You see what I'm saying? It's. I will agree with you on the forward line. I will not agree with you on the midfield, because sometimes he used the 3 midfielders, not only 2.
Yeah, but the problem with this one is
I think the 3 midfielders more like a brand.
No, 1 second. Bro. It was me or Scott going. I was just being kind.
Go.
Quick one, Scott. And this is my point was with Caicedo.
Dembele wasn't destroyer.
If we don't get Caicedo, of course, there's many other good options like you lot mentioned. Fine, no problem. But our fan base will absolutely shit on it and say, if it's not Caicedo, oh, this guy's not good enough. He's not good enough. He's not ready. Fuck the scouting team. So we can't have that Alvarez moment.
That's what you're paying attention to. That's not the majority.
No, Ziad, you're right.
Player, it doesn't matter.
No, but Ziad, you are right. But that's what I was talking about earlier, where it's like for example, right? Someone's mentioned a player there who's an excellent season for his club. How many people here, or how many of the fan base, if we went and signed someone like Seko Fofana, would have A, any idea who he is, B, would be happy with us getting him? Like, because I guarantee most of them don't know like what he's about, or just see he's coming from Lens, who are like have had a very above average season, and it's like cool. Like I guarantee people will be up in arms, but that's because our fan base just wants us that name. That's what the fan base
that's
want.
because of Roman. That's because of Roman. When he came in, he started buying all the big names.
Some of it, comes from what we did. That's what we've done in terms of we just went and signed the name at the time, right? And like that.
Look, like I said, for me, the starting 11 in the Premier League and the top 4, you don't have to do a lot of scouting. We're not that team. We need scouting right now. We need good scouting because we're not that team that we used to be. When you Manchester City, you don't need the scouting. You need scouting for the youth, and that's how they progress. You see what I'm saying? They buy whoever they want at the end of the day. So that's.
Sorry, Alex, to interrupt, but I just want to go back on what Josh said. That's why I do actually like the idea of like that Vega, because even though I have heard of him and like he's been in the news a bit, he is someone that like it's a little bit out there, like right where it's like he's someone that has a bit of talent. He's got a decent release clause. Not a lot of people have heard of him, but they've obviously seen.
I don't
what
even
he's
know
doing.
who it is. I thought he was joking. Viagra.
And it's the same thing.
Viagra joke. I swear.
To a little bit of lesser extent, like that's kind of what Ugarte was.
The name already, bro.
About the midfield, go on.
I say that's kind of to a little bit lesser extent because people storming us. That's kind of what Ugarte was like. Where it's like it's a bit of an out there name. Not a lot of people know. But like that's what I like. I like us doing that. We haven't had that as much.
I like the cranking.
100%. Big up my guy.
Probably multiple
siders.
Spliff combined with
what's the name? Viagra, whatever the name is.
Vega.
I swear, man, I thought he said Viagra. I didn't
know.
Whatever
his name is. Him and Musiala have got the most goals for under 21 midfielders in the top 5 leagues. So that's a good thing, bro.
Just a quick thing.
Nothing Odoi had a good youth career.
What?
A lot of
you say.
No, I'm just saying.
Hudson-Odoi had a good youth career, which he did.
What's wrong after the
By the way, I think. Look, we get in Pochettino, and people saying that Pochettino is playing with 2 in the midfield and stuff. But if you look at the way the scouting works, we scout for 4-3-3 system.
It's not as
everybody. You see what I'm saying?
No. People need to watch Poch's breakdown on Tifo. He likes to play with he can play a 3 or 2.
I'm not saying we scout. We're building a team for Poch right now. But when you buy youth, what Scott said, the way we buy in the youth, we buy in youth as a 4-3-3. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand?
I think that's
I think it's 4-2-3-1. I see the number 10 dropping in to make a 3. Yes, the same way Ericsson.
But
I think it depends.
Listen to me. But this is the funny part. It's easy to it's easy to change the midfielder within young age. So when you set up as a midfielder 4-3-3 that basically 8, you can coach him as a youngsters into the double pivot. You see what I'm saying?
The only player that I think will dictate whether this is true is Nkunku, because if they see him as a striker, I can believe what you say, Alex, in terms of I can see them doing that. But if they see him as a 10, it's a 4-2-3-1. It's a primarily 4-2-3-1 with him
as of right now.
He's not. That's now. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not talking
right
about
now.
That. I'm talking about the scouts for 5 years. In the 5 years, I'm talking about we build in the system. So, for example, if Poch doesn't work out or he does not make that extra step, we build in a team behind first 11. What midfielders already 4-3-3. You see what I'm saying? That we're ready to. What's the closest system that can get adapted into the 4-2-3-1? It's 4-3-3.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If you buy, if it's like, for example, what's his name? Like it's adaptation. It's adaptation within 5 years. If you buy players based on 4-3-3, you can adapt it to 4-2-3-1.
To be fair, I was going to say that does
maybe this is why he wanted to keep Mount, because he could be a guy that drops into the midfield to make it.
Again, I'm not talking about this system right now. I'm talking about in 5 years.
I know what Alex is talking about. Yeah, no, and Alex, you're right, because no. Let me continue on Alex's point, because with a 4-3-3, you can also easily go to a back three, because you can have that central midfielder drop into the defense, and Poch likes to do that. To help with the build up if you need to, or in certain situations. So that pivot midfielder is what we really need. That's what we're trying to get right now. Somebody that could step into the
exactly. I think Kante is a 10.
Carney's more of an advanced midfielder.
But the thing is, do you know what I will say with what I think does lend like a bit of evidence to Alex's point is look at the type of midfielders we've signed in terms of the young guys.
That's what I'm trying to say.
We've got Casade, Santos, I'll put Carney in there as well, and Pais. All of them are guys who like are a bit of like they can it works, like a couple of them work deeper but also can go forward, and it's kind of a mix. Like they can both, most of them I'd say can kind of be the deeper guy or not. Yeah, can kind of do that and work.
This
both,
is what I was
can
trying
do
to
that
say, that I'm not talking about the poach right
Fuck
now.
is Paredes?
First team. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about those Brazilian kids that nobody knows. That's what I'm talking about. In
Danilo.
the 5 years range.
There's another one, Danilo at Palmeiras. He's a.
What you mean, the guy? Isn't he the guy that went to? What's his name? Nottingham Forest.
Well, this is the way that it's a new way of playing. It's a trendy way of playing. From the three in the back. You see what I'm saying? Like three in the back when you progresses. That's what I was talking about. Like it's.
I think I'm very confident in that. And we have to kind of identify what are our core players that we're going to build around for the next 5 years. And of course, I think that's Enzo and Nkunku. And I don't know, defensively, maybe you could say Fofana or Badiashile, maybe. But
I'll be real. This is just me. If I'm picking one person from each position, or
let's do it in 2 phases. We need a leader in the defense, a leader in the midfield, and a leader in attack.
We already have a leader in defense.
I would say we've got two. I'd say we've got like if what they're planning on doing going forward, I'd say we've got at least two in the defense.
One in the midfield.
Are you saying based on right now or what they could be?
Right now.
Well, I'm kind of saying like, so like whatever players we bring, like
in midfield.
What strengths? Because certain players we're gonna mold. But Enzo, I don't think we're going to want to mold. We're going to want to. We know his strengths, so I think like certain players like a Santos, you might be like, okay, he could go forward, but I'm gonna mold him into this because it fits. It helps Enzo's game, so he could get more forward. So I'm trying to kind of identify who in our squad are we going to dictate our formation and how players move around them. And I'm thinking it's going to be Nkunku and Enzo.
Well, I was going to say, if you're doing like a spine, I'd say it's Nkunku. Whoever the 9 we're going to get is, depending on who it is. Like if we go and get like a Vlahovic, maybe not. If we get an Osimhen, which I don't want us to at that price, it will be him. It will be Enzo, Nkunku. I think one of Badiashile or Colwell, and then the striker. For me, will be
the striker is a real problem.
Yeah. A lot of people in the comments are expecting Enzo to play high up the pitch. I don't think that's the case. People are comparing him to Verratti and stuff.
It depends. Yeah, big up to Dinishin as well, saying Poch might use Enzo like Ericsson. We need 2 pivots.
Unless he will see what Nkunku can do in Ericsson position.
I think we should. I don't think we should think too much about how what he did at Spurs. Like what Poch did at Spurs, yes, that's a template, but. Like we're just like, oh, he's gonna play the Ericsson role. I don't think he's gonna be as simplistic as that. I think he's gonna go off the strength of his players.
It's more for me.
I think it's pivotal actually. For him, it's pivotal. You have to have a long range passer in the Poch team. Always.
Enzo's a long range passer.
The thing for me with what Sage said though is I just want him further up the pitch so he can do what he does better, and also you're limiting his lack of defensive ability. Because that's his biggest weakness is he gets caught in transition a bit too easily. But,
he's not that fast.
Yeah, but I don't care about that when he's slightly further up the pitch. Where he's playing now, it's a problem because he's the last line of defense before the defense.
Yeah,
but when he's further up,
you don't want the deepest midfielder to be careless in possession.
And that's the thing is like I just want him slightly further up the pitch so it's less of a problem. when he's losing the ball or he just gets beaten a bit too easily on transition. Because then you've got a Caicedo, Lavia, defensive midfielder.
The problem, I think. Sorry, Sage. I think the problem what you, Scott, is if you bet. I don't think Enzo is actually bad in transition. That's not it. The problem with Enzo is the clueless people beside them, because you know how they do not like to get the ball. They shine from the ball. You need the creator that has a pass in him. You need the people that actually want the ball. Last season, especially end of the season, I didn't see none of the Chelsea players who actually want the ball.
Yeah, nobody
they kind of run away from it. You see what I'm saying? They did not want the ball. And you will be surprised, but Enzo is still going to be playing deep. He likes it. I see it. He will not go all the way high unless we're going to be a pressing team that press against it. And by nature, he's going to be higher.
Well, that's
if
the
we're
thing.
going to play transition, like a quicker pass on the wing, he ain't going up.
Enzo, and I want to speak on Enzo has some defensive strengths. It's not transition defense and tackling, but he is a very good presser. So I think he will be up more, not fully up, but he'll be pressing one of the lead pressers in the second line. He won't be the first line of pressing, but he'll be in the midfield pressing. And I think he needs a midfielder who is good positionally to step into the defense and just play simple passes, who just has good positional awareness and is strong and is able to defensively transition well, physically has the attributes. And, Caicedo has that quality, but there's other players out there that I think could do that.
Also, I think for Enzo, the thing is as well, is I think positionally speaking, I agree in terms of on the pitch, it will look like a 2 and a 1, like a double pivot and a 1 in front. But Enzo will be given license to go forward like he was at Benfica, because that's how it was at Benfica. It was a 2 and a 1. It was him and Florentino Luis in DM, and I think João Mario or someone like that at the 10. But he would, because Luis was good defensively, or was more secure defensively, it gave Enzo a bit more license to get forward and do a bit more. And that's the thing, is I'm not saying he needs to be the number 10 or be hard to pitch, but it just gives
the deep line playmaker. If you're talking Football Manager,
like what you said earlier, Alex, like what you said earlier with Dembele and Wanyama, because Wanyama was the sitter, Dembele was given a bit more license to go forward and drive with the ball, and that's what I'm saying. I want Enzo to be given a bit
Dembele
more
was
license.
Not a passer. One thing Dembele did not have on him, it's a pass. He's a
dribbler.
He's a driver.
Ball carrier.
He carries the ball. He ball carries.
You get my point, though, in terms of he'll just be he'll be given a bit more license to do more. Is more the thing.
Wanyama is always the last one standing.
And the Cuckoo is going to most likely be the advanced playmaker.
It depends It depends on which side. If you play double pivot, if you get impressed on the right side, whereas the other midfielder is, he stays deep. If you attack from this, Enzo stays deep. It depends on which side it goes. It doesn't mean that it depends which side of the field attack is going. If we progress him through the left and Enzo is on the left, Enzo is going higher. If we progress the ball through the right, the other midfielders going with it, and Enzo staying deep.
Right. This is why I didn't appreciate people in the comments comparing him to Dembele, because Dembele is obviously more press resistant. He's good, but tactically speaking, Enzo and Dembele will have the same instrument. They will be given the freedom to push the ball up the field. But I didn't see how they were comparing him to Verratti, because Verratti is actually the combination of both Enzo and Dembele. He's press resistant. He can.
I think Enzo
put the ball up and he can pass.
Enzo's press resistant. I think he can pass from right from left to right only.
Enzo's decent press resistant. Yeah. Decently press resistant.
Another thing, he can actually carry the ball. He's not as good as Dembele carrying the ball, but it's a small sample to test on. A couple of months at Chelsea, he could look so different in the start of the next season, because people forget he never played in Premier League. People say that he's bad in transition. Well, faster.
Alex, you're right. Enzo could carry the ball. He could carry the ball, but if you look at his stats,
that's a good shout. That's a good shout. Skulls depends what skulls you mean. If early skulls, yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, to me, Enzo plays more like Kimmich for some reason.
No, he's not Kimmich.
No, he's not Kimmich.
Don't pivot Kimmich. He doesn't play like him. Do you think?
Way too like his way.
I think the more important question, and it's what's nice about our squad right now is that the wings are pretty solidified, defensively and forward. Like we know what players are going to be there, and it's more about the center, and it's more about like striker, strong pivot midfielder, and that's basically all we like really need. Of course, we need more depth, but like what are the forward options like out there? I know there's Vlahovic and some others, but
it's like
Lautaro.
I'd say the same.
I realize circumstances. I want Lautaro. Out of any circumstances, I'd rather have Nkunku as a playing as a 9. I do not want another fraud.
I think Lautaro translates that well. He doesn't translate that well.
The biggest.
I think Nkunku. I think
20 goals.
No. I'm not
in Syria.
He is not 9.
Ruud could score in Syria.
I think the biggest thing with Lautaro for me. The biggest thing for Lautaro for me is his best moments have come in a 2. Like he's looked most comfortable when playing as a together with as another player. Like, and you're either like the only time I see him working as like a number 9, a lone number 9 is like in a City because of the way they play and the way he can link up with other players. In an R system, I don't think that works. Situation. Yeah, it's not even just a false 9. It's not even just a false 9. It's more of a case of like I don't think our wingers are going to get involved in terms of helping him with build up play, like link up play. I mean, so like that's it. I just don't.
Look up the best young striker.
Here's how I want a striker to be next. What next striker to be? First of all, I want the striker to not be afraid to take a touch in the box and not afraid to actually be close to the defender. I don't want the striker to have too many touches. I want the 1 touch, 2 touch shot. That's it. I want him to move fast enough within the box. I don't want him to drift left. It depends who he playing with. If he plays with Nkunku, and Nkunku can finish in balls too, so he can drift left. So as far as right now, I'm so burned out on those 9s and false 9s and all those Kai Havertz and the Sterlings and all that. I'm so tired of this. Tony is the biggest player I want at Chelsea right now. I don't want Osimhen. I want Tony. I will be okay with play if we get him until the January.
Yeah.
But for me personally, with this team, we need somebody that not afraid to take a touch and take a second touch to. Most touches he needs to do is 2 touches for me, and third one should be a shot. And if he's smart enough to take the first touch, to move the ball the way the next one, I think this guy is good, man.
And he can
remember in the beginning of the season, Scott, I did not want him. I didn't think Tony was good, and then it just clicked, man. Just clicked.
And I think he could carry the ball pretty well. Like he could move the ball up, and he could hold the ball very well. So allowing Nkunku to play off of him, hold the ball, passing to Nkunku as he's running by him. Modric,
I'll invest in Broja stocks. I think Broja is one of those.
Broja to me is a great backup option and somebody that has the potential next season if he can recover to maybe become that guy.
I'll take Vlahovic or Tony. I'll take both.
I actually like Tony, but I think the Tony transfer should have been like 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago or a year ago? I was rooting for Tony before they bought Lukaku. Honestly.
Well, good for you.
I think there's similarities between how. Okay, go on. Sorry.
I would say with the striker thing, for me, I realized this I think it was last night when I was thinking about this. The everything I said earlier about the CDM position is the same with the striker. Like there are actually quite a lot of options. It's just the same problem with like the top level, like
give him time.
Yeah, the top level people, the people that you see in the news all the time, they're so few and far between, or they're just expensive. There are guys out there who you could get and probably for like 40, 50 mil, who I guarantee you're never going to heard of, but will be good, like really good strikers and probably fit. But I guarantee most of this fan base won't be pissed if we get them. Like I guarantee.
Scott, it's not.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
We'll be getting for a cheap price,
it's not even if you're gonna get pissed with him, Scott. It's not that. It's about give him time. He doesn't. Those players that you're talking about, 50 mil and stuff like that, strikers in this market, 50 mil, it's a really low quality. Let's say that way, based on this market. So what I'm saying is, if we get it, for example, you're looking for the midfielder in the same price range that nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of those. You just don't have time to develop them into the strikers, 100 mil strikers. We're not finished products. So if you have the midfielder that's not finished, you have the forward is not finished, your team is not finished. Unless
But you
we
don't
have time.
Alex, it's about mentality. If you see the player have the quality, all he has to have is the mentality.
Yeah,
and if he have that mentality, then you put him in a big club.
Look, mentality is one of those things that you do it at the end when you already have a developed squad. Mentality comes with the
Alex, but no,
the player has to have the mentality.
Of course it is.
Alex in the forward, but no, Alex in the forward, because this is the way I feel like we went wrong on Lukaku. He had the quality, but Lukaku has always lacked the mentality. So we need players with mentality. For forward, we need a player with a mentality. Of course, that can grow, but I would be looking and paying attention to their mentality, their personality. Do they get upset when they don't score? Are they like how are they like? We need players that are hungry, that want to score. You know, we haven't had that type of striker.
Look at Diego Costa and Didier Drogba when they come to Chelsea. Their mentality was very, very strong.
Yeah, but for example, with Didier Drogba,
big up to Denishan as well. Saying Mourinho was the only one who got us good strikers.
Look,
big up Giroud as well.
Look, I agree with you.
That's a bit of ITK
exclusive
news.
Drogba.
Mr.
But Didier Drogba did not kick in from the start.
Fatter, man.
Loftus Cheek to Milan's
hold on a second.
Let Alex finish his bloody point and then
Didier Drogba did not kick in Chelsea career with the high. What helped him, we already had the quality forwards around them. So it was not noticeable. You see what I'm saying? But when those players left, Didier Drogba kicked in. We do not have neither players around the strikers right now to give them their confidence, neither the striker of this caliber. So
Alex, if you remember, Alex,
to tell me example of Didier Drogba, there's not a sample at Chelsea right now to have this comparison.
All right, that team that Drogba came into the first season when he plays, Lampard scored, I think, most of the goals. Drogba scored us a few goals. We have a rounded team that didn't rely on Drogba for that season. The following season, Drogba started to come out.
There was a striker. There was Didier Drogba did not only one striker on that team, and Lampard did not score all the goals. There's a good
there's Crespo. There was Crespo. There was Good Johnson. You know, all those players were there. You have the Duff. You have the Robin. So yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if we sign in a striker that, for example, nobody knew who Didier Drogba was at that point.
Right.
So if we sign in somebody that nobody knows, a striker, who's on his team is actually going to help and get the goals without striker and let them develop. Nobody.
No, Alex. Why the thing for me is I'm not talking about someone has to develop, because I'm not talking about going and getting like what we're doing with Santos. I'm talking about going and getting someone who is already a commodity in terms of they are scoring goals or they are playing well, but they just come from they are someone that people don't know. And
you're talking about 6 months to a year and get himself ready for that. Because Didier Drogba is not a youth player when he came. He came established striker. But one thing Didier Drogba did, he took a season to get adopted. And what I'm talking about, the same scenario. I'm not talking about the youth to develop. Maybe developed is not the right thing. Get suited into the league. Needs 1 year. I don't care if the 50 million striker you're buying right now, it was more chances that player is gonna need a year to get suited. I promise you.
No, let me. No, but
you see what I'm saying?
This is cool, but again, like it's not just that. It's my point is it's not even giving him a year. It's not that. It's him when it's getting the person in. It's more like I'll give you an example, right, or a couple of examples. There are people that don't want Vlahovic in simply because he's had or they think he's had a bad season.
I'm not talking about fans. I don't care what fans say.
No, but that's my point. It's like that's stupid. No, but that's what my whole point was earlier, and that's what I'm saying. Like there are a lot of options.
You're talking about the fan base. You're not talking about
But it's like you could go and get a guy. For example, do you remember when we were linked with Seshko before, the guy from Salzburg, who's now going to Leipzig? There were people, the I don't know, is he Serbian, Slovenian, something like that?
Yeah.
There were people that straight away went no because, and their reasoning was because he plays in the Austrian league. It's like you're going to get those people, and I don't care about those people. Those people are ignorant, but it's like that I think is like what sometimes hampers a couple of transfers, where it's like you could go and sign someone there's someone that's moving to Leipzig currently is Openda. You could probably go and get him from Lens, another one from Lens, funny enough. But you could probably go and get him for a decent price, and he's coming from Ligue 1, so we know that there's a decent transition rate. It's a bit young, he's 23, but he's a good player who you could sign for a good price. But I guarantee there'll be people that instantly shit on him because he's coming from Ligue 1 or he plays for Lens or this and the other, and that's
I think when it comes to mine, Scott, that's a good point.
Bailey,
I want to follow Scott on that. I want to follow Scott on that point from buying players from different leagues. I think for certain positions, certain leagues have good players that can translate well. So, like, if we were looking for a good playmaker, we could maybe find a good up and coming in Spain, maybe even in Germany. But I don't think we're going to be able to find a striker from Germany because the way they play. So I think that's what we messed up with. Not Muller, with Werner. He had all the stats, but how the league play and even his mentality, he didn't have it. I think with like a Ligue 1 type player, because it's a very physical league, or even Serie A could somewhat translate well because it's more physical. So in the box, it's harder, to get touches. That's the type of players that could translate. So Osimhen could translate pretty well because of how strikers play in the Serie A is somewhat similar to the Premier League, more so than other leagues like the German league or La Liga.
I genuinely think.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it, bro.
By the way, George Muta's right. By the way, and I've been preaching this for so long. This is, and it's we like clubs in general. It's not just Chelsea. The top clubs in general. We're seeing it like City are doing it now. Like top clubs in general need to cut out the middleman and stop letting these guys clubs should be over Openda. Top clubs. He shouldn't just be going to Leipzig and that be the only club interested. And it's same with other players. Like, how is it that some of it comes down to the situation some of these guys are in, but it's like you let these guys go to some clubs for just cheap money, and then all of a sudden, if you then want him after a year, it's 80 mil. It's like
because these teams are willing to do the dirty work. They're willing to get
Caicedo's replacement, not Caicedo.
Exactly.
Who's Caicedo's replacement?
We're lazy. Squad average age of 2004, I think, is 24.9. Current squad is 25.4. Not really a bad age. Not a bad age. They'll have a year or two's worth of experience.
Yeah, the age of the squad.
But Scott, when we were talking about last year, I remember we were talking about last year spending big money.
Where the fuck did you come from, bro?
Where are you coming from, bro? You can't just hop in here and just start.
It's like I can do whatever the fuck I want.
You have a whole conversation here.
Yeah. You don't do whatever the fuck I want, yeah? You do whatever the fuck I want, yeah? That's how I roll. Mate, my Aussie manager, yeah, it's Spurs, yeah, big Ange, mate. We should have big Ange. No, but Scott, I was saying, it's not. I understand your point, yeah, but weren't you we were talking about last year about spending big money on players from other leagues and kind of being a bit suspicious about them? So are you on Osimhen train now, Scott?
I'm on the train of he's a good player. He's not 150 million pounds.
Same. I don't think he's valued that much.
He's quality forward. He's not 150 million pounds.
Yeah, but this is the one thing I would agree. Like I was mentioning earlier, if we were to sign Zubimendi or someone on that level, would be like, oh, who's the fuck is that? He's not right. He's not Caicedo. In a way, I don't agree because we have scouts for a reason and we hired Paul and whatnot for a reason, right? But at the same time, so it's not it's difficult to say we should sign the guy from Germany before he comes to Premier League and balls out because he came to Premier League and balled out for a reason, right? We don't know he's going to come to Chelsea and do that. So it's a risk. It's a crazy risk.
It's a risk, but scouting should help because if you buy players. If you buy players that fit the players around them, that's the issue. When we bought in Werner, we didn't have a squad that fit his strengths.
Exactly. We have to buy players. We're seeing it with other teams. Someone got brought up earlier, Alvarez. That's someone who was doing well in the Argentinian league, and he didn't have to go to a Leipzig to then go to a City. He just went to a City, and it does help that the situation in terms of the environment is different, but that's what I want our our club to build that environment, and that's what I'm glad they're doing with the likes of Santos and Casade.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to say something about that.
I've already done those signings. The Carneys, Santos might be those.
But that's why it comes down to the scouts to pick them.
Yeah, I'm hoping that these guys they treat them right, so then they do beget these like to at that level, because like they're doing what I want to do with those guys. Like we're talking about Palhinha now. This is a guy who I literally said earlier, he went for like 12 mil in the summer, and we're now talking about, and we want him, and we're speculating he's going to cost like 60, 70. Like
we get caught up because we're one of the last. We're like one of the last clubs at the line of the chain. Like, and how even other clubs view us is like, we have always been that type of club that buys. Because the Premier League has the money too. That is also
we don't prioritize players' positions. We don't prioritize players' positions.
You look like you're gonna.
Well, I think this is where you gotta. I think this is where you
take it, Alex. Take it.
We don't see it now. We don't see it right now with Bowley and the whole ownership. But also, I do think they're gonna try to put in a structure to where we have these clubs in other leagues that are feeder clubs, but not only feeder clubs that we take from those clubs to our clubs. But it also gives us some a way to monitor other leagues via our other clubs. So when they play other teams and now those teams have other good young players, okay, let's watch that player. Because,
hey Scott, I want to touch on Scott point a little bit. Scott, the reason why it's so easy for Alvarez to transition in the Man City team, because they do have a structure, they have a running structure. At this present moment, Chelsea in disarray, so we don't even know. And we didn't have a structure. We just buy players and just put them into the team. But I guess no, going forward, what?
I say that's the issue. It is the structure, and that's why Brighton it works so many times. That's why they can get rid of they'll get rid of Basuma, just put Caicedo in his position, and it works. They'll get rid of who the fuck did McAllister replace? I can't remember who it was, whoever it was, and it just works. Like they can get rid of Trossard, put Enciso in there, and it just works. They can get rid of Hawkeye.
But I don't know, Brighton to me. Brighton's a good example. They're a good example, but they haven't done it for sustained. They haven't done it for 5 years. They've just done it for the past 2-3 years and replaced well.
But do you know that transition? Look at the transition at those players, though. They're coming from different leagues and they just transition smoothly.
This is my point with that. No, my point with Brighton is now doing this. We're all seeing Brighton do this very well, replace players well, which means that we could end up doing this very soon too, and we have more resources in Brighton. So I do think. If you look at what the players we brought in since January, don't look at the last summer because that was new club ownership, disarray, having to keep players because we didn't want to because we had to keep them, Tuchel, etc. Since January, look at who we brought in, the age, the profile. We have a structure that I think is going forward. It's just going to take time and probably a year or two to fully see it come into form. We see all the players leaving now. Look at all the Pulisic, Ziyech, everybody's leaving. Like this is the new Chelsea. Like we're about to see.
And I'm glad they're leaving back.
This is the best thing, man. We're getting all of them out.
This is really good. Yeah, we've been wanting this. Roman didn't do this. We were wanting Roman to get rid of the Bakayokos, all these players, not the renew players on high wages. It's finally happening.
Right, because all the hierarchy, they didn't have had a long-term plan. The model back then was pretty much it was like get a manager, work with what you have for short time, and get me major trophies. That's all it was. It was like it was hell.
And it worked. It worked. But I think going forward, especially with the money that's coming into football, and like you have to have sustained, especially because the money we can't win with money anymore. The Saudis, like we were talking about earlier, they're gonna wash. Newcastle. We can't win, so we're gonna have to. And the thing is that we have to actually be happy because we do have something with our academy and Cobham. Like we do have things to build. If we're not fully like, oh, what the fuck are we gonna do? No, we have a good pipeline, some feeder clubs in. We'll start being able to have our players go to those feeder clubs. Like I said, we'll be able to identify talent better because we'll have multiple scouting departments. Not just Chelsea. We're gonna have feeder clubs that are scouting for their own clubs. So yeah. We'll be good.
All right, cool. You, man, can't lie. It's 2 a.m. Man's got to go to bed. Big up everybody. Big up.
Yo, what are you just here, man?
He's falling asleep.
Lewis.
Hey, yo, you make me.
Nah, that's not the message quick, man. But yeah, man's got to pass out. Big up everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for another live stream. Is Flawless still live? Let me check. If he's still live or Raiden.
Yeah, pay up.
Drop a raid. All right, cool. We'll see you guys over at Flawless. Tell them to pay up the fucking money. Big up the Chelsea.